just need me louder. Hello, Dave Bradshaw here, sitting in an ice rink, ready for the round of 16 in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Sitting here with James R. Kennedy, who is wearing a glittery jacket.
I wasn't paying attention there, I just shat my pants.
After nearly 6 months of competition, it has come to this. 4 continents, 9 countries. We are in the round of 16 in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Dave Bradshaw here at ringside with James R. Kennedy. And James, you can feel the electricity in the air.
Well, how fitting in an arena which usually features ice hockey and all the brawls that come with it. We're going to see some grade A professional wrestling. It's all about that World Cup tournament.
Let's see our first 2 competitors came to this last 16. He gets it, flies to heaven from Banks, cover, he's caught him, surprised him, and it's enough. Travis Banks is the 15th man in the World Cup Finals. I don't know whether he lured him in or whether that was desperation, but either way it worked for O'Reilly, who's going to go for the superplex, gets countered by Bailey.
Oh, force and impact on that knee, and Dave, surely not, he's going for it. If he hits this is, oh my gosh!
The shooting star knee drop by Mike Bailey, and Mike Bailey upsets Kyle O'Reilly to go to the World Cup Finals. The air raid sirens can mean only one thing. It is a member of the prestige, New Zealand's own Kiwi Buzzsaw, Travis Banks, the first man to appear in this round of 16.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a Pro Wrestling World Cup round of 16 match, scheduled for 1 fall. Coming to the ring from New Zealand, weighing in at 190 pounds, this is Travis Banks.
saw in that video package a moment ago beat Mark Davis of Australia and Jurn Simmons of the Netherlands to qualify. That being said though, James, he did have a little bump in the road just yesterday here on WCPW's iPay-per-view stack, where he lost to Kushida, another one of the competitors in this last 16. So Banks with a bit of a psychological obstacle to overcome here. He's got to get back on track and focus his attention on the man he's about to face.
It was a bump in the road, but an athlete like Travis Banks, always prepared, all business. Tonight is big business. And first up is this man.
They call him the Speedball.
With good reason.
He is one of two men who have made it out of the Canadian qualifiers back in May. A real revelation in this World Cup. Here he is, Mike Bailey.
Making his way to the ring, representing Canada, he weighs 178 pounds. This is Speedball Mike Bailey!
Mike Bailey beating Brent Banks, Kyle O'Reilly to get through those Canadian qualifiers, but actually he's in a very similar position to Banks. He lost last night as well to another member of the last 16 here in the World Cup, Takahashi. And so both of these guys coming in here on something of a bit of a knock to their confidence last night. What do you think is going to... Oh, hang on a second, here comes Banks!
Banks wasting no time. Oh, there's that martial arts background of Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey was ready for that. Banks did something very similar in both of its qualifiers, but Bailey going to charge it in.
Already, Mike Bailey firing back at Prestige member Travis Banks, who wanted to get this one underway early. Speedball was there to meet him.
And Mike Bailey, very accomplished practitioner of Taekwondo. You see so much of that influence in his offense, but be careful here, because here comes Banks. And Banks takes out Bailey right into the front row there, into the guardrail, and listen to these boos for Travis Banks.
Well, don't forget, just around 24 hours ago from this moment at WCPW Stacked, Mike Bailey had an incredibly physical match. If you remember, Dave Bradshaw, on the ring apron, he came down hard on one of those knees. That has to be a factor in this match.
It certainly does, as the bell finally rings to start this one off officially. But as much as Bailey's knees might be a problem, Banks has a similar problem in that his left arm took a tremendous amount of punishment last night in that match against Kushida.
It's a great point, and which injury will catch up with either Travis Banks or Mike Bailey as this round of 16 battle in the Pro Wrestling World Cup continues.
It's interesting to see there that Banks was kicking at the back of the knees. I wonder whether that was deliberate or coincidence. Maybe that's part of a deliberate strategy here, but he's going to have to come up with something better, because Bailey is unloading.
Rarely have I seen feet as quick as Mike Bailey.
This could do it early. Bailey gets two.
He strikes with such precision, you almost don't see it coming, Dave Bradshaw.
Don't forget, by the way, if you want to give us your opinion on who you think is going to advance from this round of 16 to tomorrow night's quarterfinals in the Pro Wrestling World Cup, join the conversation on social media. Our hashtag, as it has been throughout this tournament, is hashtag Pro Wrestling World Cup.
What's huge about this, oh, wait a minute, Travis Banks.
Maybe go for that cannonball.
Hold that thought.
May have knocked Bailey silly here. Looks the leg and gets a two. So both men getting early covers, near falls.
As I was saying before, the Kiwi Buzzsaw nearly won this match and progressed to the quarterfinals. All the qualifiers in the Pro Wrestling World Cup, they're finished. They're in the past. This is the nitty-gritty of this tournament. The cream of the crop left in this World Cup competition.
Almost everyone who's qualified, with the exception of those in the rest of the world qualifier, have only so far faced people from their own country. So now there's a real international flavour to this as we go into the last 16. Banks from New Zealand, Bailey from Canada. So two different hemispheres battling it out here.
Well, Banks is the kind of individual that doesn't like anybody, regardless of their nationality or background. Although he will, even though he doesn't perhaps like Mike Bailey, he will respect what Speedball has to offer between those ropes.
Bailey trying to kick his way out of the corner, but So this is one opponent in Travis Banks that Bayley, I don't think, can rely on having the advantage when it comes to striking, because Banks is one man who can strike every bit as hard as his Canadian opponent.
They don't call him the Kiwi buzzsaw for no reason. That's why the Prestige headhunted Travis Banks specifically, one of New Zealand's best. But this is all about, it's not even about the prestige for Travis Banks. He wants to stand on his own merits and win the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
These two exchanging chops, and look how Bayley fell backwards after that one strike from Banks.
He's shaken up more than a little here.
I've been saying in the build-up to this that this could be a sleeper candidate to be the match of the night here in the last 16, and it is building very nicely already as Bayley goes to the ropes. Oh my, look at that.
Live across the world on YouTube, and already we are seeing quite the match between Speedball and the Kiwi buzzsaw.
Bayley, that knee into the jaw. Banks leaps over the top, trying for the sunset flip. Bayley maybe gonna, oh wow, look at that. Moves on into a double knee drop. We've seen him do that off the top rope or something similar before. He hooks both legs, and he was a half a second away from advancing to the quarterfinals right there.
Right in the midsection, both those knees. Now, it was interesting there, Dave Bradshaw, which it did not escape my attention that Speedball, he did not clutch either one of those knees. And back to what we were talking about earlier, that injury yesterday at Stacked. Oh,
Banks drop kick into the corner, ahead of Bayley snapping backwards on that middle turnbuckle. Banks with a double foot stomp right into the small of the back of Bayley. That could do some long-lasting damage. Is it enough? Nearly. Both of these men, by the way, have considerable success in their fairly recent histories in tournaments. Bayley won the CZW Best of the Best in 2014. Banks winning the Progress Super Strong Style 16 this year. So they know what it's like to wrestle multiple matches in a short period of time and to come out successful, but only one of them can advance here.
but have they experienced the weight of an entire nation on their shoulders? And that's precisely what this is all about. Banks from New Zealand, Bayley from Canada. Who will progress to the quarterfinals?
Banks trying to pick up Bayley, maybe for a brainbuster. Bayley tries to counter. Banks goes behind, rolls through, but Bayley doesn't let his shoulders stay down. In the end, though, he gets kicked right in the side of the head by the Kiwi buzzsaw.
Oh, there's a receipt from Bayley.
Oh my, back of the heel into the skull of Banks. Scissors kick. Oh, Banks got countered. Banks got countered. Small package from Bayley. Nearly took him by surprise.
Bayley's held on, though, as has Banks.
It's Banks who's held on. Banks is the one who's held on. He's not allowing Bayley to get away, or at least he wasn't until that forearm strike. Bayley, though, still finds himself on the ring apron here.
He doesn't want to be there. We saw what happened at Stacked.
Now, what is Bayley thinking here? Bayley looking behind him, maybe going to try and suplex Banks onto the floor.
Oh, that was so dangerous.
If he'd nailed that, that would have absolutely been the end of Travis Banks' tournament.
Oh, kick after kick after kick here in the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Imagine being struck that hard while you're essentially standing on the edge of a cliff.
Oh.
You don't want to fall down there.
One of these kicks would be enough to cave either your chest or mine right in, Dave Bradshaw.
Maximum respect to both of these guys. The pounding they're taking from each other here is just something superhuman.
Oh, right down on the nose there almost.
Banks sweeps the leg. Face first goes, oh my! Goes Bayley in, and that didn't break his nose. The kick might have.
Is that kick enough to take New Zealand into the quarterfinals? We'll soon see. Banks has other things in mind, though.
I thought he was maybe going to try and win this by count out, but no, Banks is going to the ropes. Banks wins the top and middle rope and takes out Bayley.
Mike Bayley so lucky that he didn't career back into those steps. That could have been disastrous for Speedball.
Speedball has been considerably slowed down, at least temporarily, or has he? Because here he comes. That's it, he moonsault takes out Banks.
Wow, that's why they call him Speedball. It's not only physical movement, it's mental. Speed of thought from Mike Bayley.
Both men down. Referee Chris Sharp is starting his count in this remarkable first of 8. Last 16 matches we've got coming to you live from Milton Keynes, Planet Ice. Jam-packed to the rafters with fans here.
The referee up to a 4 count now. There's the 5.
Well, Bayley is up to his feet. Looks like he's going to make it in. He has. Banks is moving, so hopefully both men yet are going to make it in. We want to see this one end decisively by hopefully a pin or submission, not a count out if we can. Bailey is on the middle turnbuckle. He's going to go for that knee drop. Couldn't get it.
Athleticism there. Whoa!
Bailey dived out of the way, nips up. Bailey running corkscrew moonsault, hooks both legs of Travis Banks. And oh my, again, Bailey again was just a tenth of a second off.
So surprised that Bailey didn't get the 3 count off of that one. It shows you the resilience and the character of Travis Banks, not only to beat the referee's count of 10, but to survive what Mike Bailey had in store for him right there. Incredible twists and great acrobatics from Speedball.
Goes for a roundhouse kick, does Bailey. Ducked it to Travis Banks. There's that leaping lariat. And the man from Auckland, New Zealand. Oh, Fisherman Buster goes for the cover here, and it's right again. How many times now have each of these men been just so close to going through?
And you can see the look on Mike Bailey. A great job by the WCPW camera crew here in Milton Keynes, catching that incredible.
Oh. Bailey went for the slice of heaven. Banks, I should say, went for the slice of heaven. Bailey caught him with a kick.
Speaking of incredible, look at that great athleticism once more from Bailey.
Maybe going to try for that shooting star, double knee drop again. Banks could be in trouble. Oh my! May have cracked his spine in half, for goodness sake! Mike Bailey has advanced!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, advancing to tomorrow night's quarterfinals, Mike Bailey!
There is a standing ovation here in Milton Keynes. We're only on the first match of the night. And Mike Bailey has advanced after a remarkable win. Possibly a minor upset, you know, given the year that Travis Banks has had. But after that shooting star double knee drop, just collapsed Travis Banks back in 2. Speedball, Mike Bailey from Canada is through to the quarterfinals. Well, after that victory for Speedball Mike Bailey, as I say, he's going to advance to the next round.
That's huge.
The quarterfinals, where he will face the winner of that enormous showdown coming up a little bit later on. Will Ospreay or Rey Mysterio to face Mike Bailey tomorrow night in Manchester. Well, right now we're going to keep the action coming thick and fast. Our second match in this round of 16 is coming up in just a moment. Penta El Zero Miedo from Mexico going to take on Germany's Bad Bones. Right now, let's show you how these two qualify. Trying again for the fear factor. Gets it again. Again. My God. Penta. Penta El Zero M advances to the finals. Dodges the super kick. A kick to the jaw of Erkan. Erkan!
Oh, God, he folded him up like an accordion.
The longbar from Bad Bones, and Bad Bones is going to the World Cup Finals! This one is not going to be for the faint of heart.
It's a different dynamic that we're about to see here in Milton Keynes, Dave Bradshaw. This man, a mercenary for hire. He's all about money. He wants the winner's purse that comes with the Pro Wrestling World Cup. I can assure you of that.
The following contest is a Pro Wrestling World Cup round of 16 match scheduled for one fall. Coming to the ring, representing Germany, he weighs 228 pounds. This is Bad Bones.
Bad Bones, 33 years old, a 13-year veteran from Bitburg in Germany. He's appeared in TNA numerous times, as well as WXW and all over Europe. He's currently or has been, I should say, a 3-time WXW Unified World Wrestling Champion, a 2-time IPW UK Champion here in the UK as well. Much more besides. Bad Bones, as tough as they come.
He's up against a very, very tough customer here in Milton Keynes. A man who, quite frankly, terrifies me.
He knows zero miedo, zero fear.
Oh.
One of the top stars in the world of Lucha Libre, right here in the last 16 of the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Representing Mexico, he weighs 99 kilos. This is Penta El Zero Miedo!
Penta El Zero Miedo giving up a little bit in experience to Bad Bones. Only been wrestling 7 years. Started in 2010, similar age though, 32. And as we say, Penta has been one of the hot properties in the world of Lucha Libre for some time. A former AAA Latin American champion. He has been the Lucha Underground champion. He was also the Rey de Reyes, the King of Kings in AAA in 2016.
Well, do not think for 1 second that Bad Bones does not know what Penta has accomplished in the world of professional wrestling. But tonight, it's a straight shootout, Bradshaw. The quarterfinals beckons for Bad Bones, and this mercenary may just take that opportunity.
Well, Bones was trying to hit Penta with the baseball bat. This isn't a no DQ match. That could have been a very poor decision from the German there, but Hurricane Rana from Penta. Fortunately, he didn't make contact with Bones with that bat, so the match will have a chance to get started. Caught with a power slam already, did Bad Bones.
But that's the difference, Bradshaw. Bad Bones all about the power, but this big man, don't kid yourself, he can fly too.
We're about to see it, oh my God!
Right into that safety barricade. Bad Bones admiring his own handiwork at the expense of the masked menace that is Penta.
Chop across the chest in the corner here, the front row getting a very close-up look of just how brutal we're expecting this match to be.
Well, it's already been a long, long road for both these men. Hasn't been easy by any means to even get to the round of 60.
Yeah, Bones is dominating here in the early going. 2 count to start things off. First pin attempt of the match.
Bad Bones will want to wrestle this match at his pace. Slow it down, measured, considered, all about inflicting maximum damage. Every strike, every move. This man has no wasted motion. He is a cold, calculating killer.
And descend hard into the corner. Bones qualified on those German qualifiers not that long ago, early July. Beat Pascal Spouter and Cash Money Erkan on his way to Milton Keynes here.
Isn't that ironic? Cash Money, that's what Bad Bones is all about.
He's a gun for hire we've seen so often in WCPW, but he's also out for himself, as is evidenced by that list of accolades I was telling you about as he made his way to the ring. Bad Bones, very much one of the most decorated wrestlers in continental Europe.
Well, I've paid this man out of my own pocket. He always asks for more because he believes that he can always get the job done. Well, we shall see.
Well, he's not wrong. He's a difference maker. Is Bad Bones. Insecurity to the side of the head. Bones ends up deposited on the mat there in the corner. Here comes Penta.
Oh, this is unique.
Penta! Off the headstand on the top turnbuckle. Both feet going into the chest of Bad Bones.
I don't think anyone right here in Planet Ice knew what Penta had in mind there, but the important thing is, the crucial thing, Penta did, and it was effective.
Penta gonna dive onto Bad Bones. Almost hit his legs on the guardrail there, but was able to land that move very effectively.
Always a high risk. If Bad Bones had moved there, Penta would have splatted himself on the hard ice here in Planet Ice.
Penta is actually quite a big guy physically in terms of being able to do that lucha libre style, which makes it all the more impressive how he's able to fly through the air in the way he does.
Oh, we've seen this before. We've heard that sound like a gunshot going off here in Milton Keynes.
And you never get used to it either. You hear that live, it just sounds almost as painful as it is, I'm sure.
I'm sure Bad Bones would agree with you right about now. He doesn't know what hit him. And Penta coming back out, rolling in, breaking the official's count here.
Penta, for his part, by the way, beat Rey Phoenix and El Ligero in the Mexican qualifiers to make it here.
As I said, a long, long road for both these men, but this is the nitty-gritty of the Pro Wrestling World Cup. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's almost starting anew when you get to this stage of the competition.
I mean, even to make it this far in such a high-quality field of 64, to be in the last 16 is an achievement in itself, but of course that's not going to be much comfort to anyone who gets eliminated tonight.
And Penta, as you say, a big man, but he can fly too. We've already saw it from Bad Bones. Is Penta going to follow suit?
Maybe going to go for that Lanza, the double foot stomp. Yes, he does, but Bad Bones moved out of the way. Trip takes Penta off his feet. Bones going to low clothesline. The cover by Bones. Oh, counter into the crucifix pin from Penta. 2 count and Bad Bones rolls out.
And Bad Bones coming back again, but flipped over that top rope.
Again, the insecurity from Penta. Bones having to hold him to the ropes to stop himself going down. But oh my God!
Spear from Bad Bones.
He lured him in. He lured him in, and he nearly cost him his place in the tournament.
Well, Bad Bones calling out that he was sure that was a 3 count. Referee Joel Allen did confirm that Penta got the shoulder up. It was indeed a 2, much to the chagrin of this big nasty German.
Went for the kick into the head of Penta. Duck there, and Penta takes him down. Second time. Goes for the cover. Once again, Bad Bones kicks out. You know, it's very interesting. We saw this in the first match as well. All 4 competitors we've seen so far going for a lot of early pinfalls here. I think everyone in this last 16 is very mindful of the fact if they do win, they want to do so in as quick a time as possible because they've got to have time to recuperate. The quarterfinals are tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's no rest for the wicked. All of these... Oh, Penta calling out for hush again.
Oh! Louder than the last.
Oh my God. There's no way that didn't leave a mark. No way. And Penta chasing off the referee here. I don't think Joel Allen wants any of what Bad Bones just got.
No, Joel Allen begging off. And the crowd, hey, listen to this.
Oh, wait a minute now. The crowd want to see it. If I was Joel Allen, I would get out of that ring right about now.
Well, referee making sure he doesn't chop him, but going for the fear factor there was Penta. Tried to counter into a crossface, but
how many teeth is Penta going to lose?
I think he'd be happy to lose all his teeth if it'll get him through of this match into the quarterfinals, but that is very much in jeopardy at the moment. Bad Bones in control. He's going to charge in. Penta moves out of the way. Penta, El Zero Miedo, leaping up the top. Bad Bones catches him. German suplex, and he's holding on.
Well, from his own country, few deliver a German suplex like the nation's own Bad Bones. He knows exactly how to execute that move, but look, Penta looks like he has a counter for it.
No, he doesn't. Half Nelson into the suplex. The cover.
Bad Bones straight back on the offense, going for the submission here.
You see he's wrenching that arm backwards. He's got it caught between the legs to increase the taut on the upper right section of Penta's chest. Penta being asked by Joel Allen if he wants to give up. You see he's trying to swing that left leg around and get it to touch the bottom rope. That's probably his best and only opportunity to get out, and finally he manages it.
The Bad Bones will make the most of that 5 count from the referee. No doubt about that. It had to be so frustrating for Bad Bones to see Penta reach those ropes.
Nonetheless, the damage may well have been done. Penta is struggling to hold up his weight here as he gets to his feet.
Bad Bones again signals it's over, but eats the boot of Penta. And again.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have signaled, should have gone for it straight away, but there's a Canadian destroyer. There's a Mexican destroyer when it's delivered by Penta.
Almost a German destroyer. Again, a second time.
He's got to do it. Oh, no, it doesn't. The right shoulder goes up. If you didn't believe us about how tough Bad Bones is, well, there's an example of it right there. Going for the Lanza, the double foot stomp, and he nails it this time.
You cannot take moves like that in such quick succession.
Oh, no, not this as well. The fear factor from Penta. El Zero Miedo, the skull of Bad Bones, bounces off the canvas like a basketball, and Penta is your winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this
El Zero Miedo with an impressive win over Bad Bones. So Penta moves on to those quarterfinals tomorrow in Manchester. We know who are going to fill up 2 of those 8 spots now. That was every bit as brutal and as hard-hitting as we predicted at the start.
Well, I'm not sure that we've seen Germany eliminated at the round of 16, but now Mexico moves into the quarterfinals. Germany out early in the round of 16. No disgrace for Bad Bones losing to Penta.
Yeah, Penta going to face either Angelico or Ricochet in those quarterfinals tomorrow. Penta, El Zero Miedo, your winner. Well, Refuse to Lose coming to you on October 2nd. That's the next time WCPW is on iPay-per-view. Tickets are going to be on sale soon. Right now, we're going to take a brief break from these round of 16 matches in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. And we have a 6-man tag team match coming up featuring our dominant WCPW tag team champions, among others.
Well, I've never seen a team like War Machine, not only in WCPW, but anywhere in the wrestling world, not for many years. And you're kidding me? They're going to team with Marty Scurll against the Prestige? Bring it on. Speaking of the Prestige, Bradshaw.
That noise never gets any less annoying and less menacing. The prestigious one and WCPW champion, the Magnificent 7 briefcase holder, and now, of course, as well, BT Gunn.
The following is a 6-man tag team match scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, they are the tag team combination of El Ligero, BT Gunn, and Joe Hendry. They are
this is a disgrace from Rhinos of Steve Linsky. He should have properly announced Joe Hendry not only as the prestigious one that you forgot, but also the WCPW champion as well.
Well, I'm sure Joe Hendry will have plenty of time to say that himself. He says it just about every night, or every day, every minute of every day. So anyone who will listen, we had one of these fan meet and greets today. We had one yesterday as well. And Hendry, not for the first time, was charging £100 per autograph. How pathetic.
Well, maybe BT Gunn will be joining Joe Hendry and commanding that kind of fee, the new hardcore champion. And as if that wasn't enough, yes, El Ligero holding aloft the Magnificent 7 briefcase. What a collective this is. Uh-oh, here comes another dangerous collective though. Domination. The War Machine rolls on.
They are our tag team champions, and they are dominating the world of tag team wrestling.
And their opponents, first making their way to the ring, they are the WCPW Tag Team Champions. This is War Machine!
Well, as well as those WCPW tag titles, you can see over their shoulders the IWGP tag titles from New Japan Pro Wrestling that they are holding for a second time. They've also held the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. When I say they are dominating the world of tag team wrestling, I am not exaggerating. War Machine are unlike anything we have seen in this industry for a very long time.
Now right here in WCPW we have a burning issue between the prestigious one Joe Hendry and the villain Marty Scurll. You put War Machine, BT Gunn and El Ligero into the equation too, and we have one hell of a fight. Do not forget what happened at Stacked.
Well, the Prestige like to believe that this is their yard, that they rule the roost here in WCPW, but War Machine and this man might have something to say about it.
A War Machine and a villain. What a wicked combination. As if the War Machine needed any more bullets, Bradshaw.
This is a golden bullet, one of the absolute finest in the wrestling world today. Part of the Bullet Club. And of course, a man who has had such tremendous success all over the world in this past year.
And their tag team partner, he represents the Villain Club. This is the Villain, Marty Scurll.
See, Marty Scurll is wearing on his sleeves of that ring jacket some of the various promotions for which he's worked. RPW, see Pro Wrestling Guerrilla on there, where he won the Battle of Los Angeles last year. He's been all over the world now as Scurll, and he has made a name for himself. He's now starting to hang out with some of the greats here in the world of wrestling. He was on Steve Austin's podcast a few weeks ago. This is the kind of circles in which Marty Scurll is now operating.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I bet that guy knows a thing or two about having an eye for talent. Steve Austin knows exactly what Marty Scurll is all about. But, and this is a big, big but, Dave Bradshaw, Marty Scurll does not have what Joe Hendry has, and that's the WCPW Championship. Marty Scurll, an incredible athlete, but he's not the champion here, and that must make him sick to his stomach.
Yeah, the Prestige have been gradually gathering, various trophies throughout the past few months. As we mentioned, Hendry, the WCPW champion, El Ligero with that Magnificent 7 briefcase, and just yesterday, BT Gunn winning the hardcore title from Primate, so they are covered in gold now. But so, of course, are the War Machine. And Marty Scurll's had a pretty gold-laden year as well. Won the Ring of Honor TV Championship, among many other things, this past year. This is quite the confrontation here between 6 of the best.
And just 24 short hours ago it stacked. Marty Scurll, what a huge, huge win over Will Ospreay. There's a caveat to that story though, Bradshaw. Will Ospreay was offered a position in the Prestige by the prestigious one himself, the WCPW champion Joe Hendry. Ultimately, he came up short against Marty Scurll, and ultimately, well, he made the wrong decision, if you wanted my opinion on that one.
Look at this with Rowe and Hansen looking to have some kind of bonding here with Scurll, but whenever they're hitting his arm, they're hurting him. That's how strong they are.
Oh, what is this now?
Marty Scurll, ever the charmer.
Really has a roguish quality to him, I'll give him that. But this is a huge 6-man tag team match. Marty Scurll, he desperately wants another crack at that WCPW title, one-on-one with Joe Hendry. He ain't getting one-on-one tonight, but what backup to have in the form of Hansen and Rowe, the War Machine.
Yeah, you talked about the interactions recently between Hendry and Ospreay. Well, what about the interaction between Hendry and Scurll, specifically that title match for the WCPW Championship that they had on Loaded a few weeks back? Scurll and Hendry hitting each other with umbrellas. Referee eventually calling it a double knockout, and I think that was a very lucky let-off for the champion. I think Scurll was on top in that match before that decision.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one. Look at this, El Ligero in against the big man, Hansen.
Hansen
pushing him in the chest.
Hansen looking bemused, I guess would be the word, against Ligero here.
Look at the sheer size difference, but here comes the WCPW champion himself. Encourages Hansen to back off just a little while he makes his prestigious way into the prestigious one's prestigious ring.
Ligero lacking perhaps a little bit of courage to actually face off with Hansen, but that's nothing new.
And look at Ligero standing on that Magnificent 7 briefcase. Even then, he can't match size with Hansen.
Yeah, tremendous disrespect that Ligero has shown for that briefcase ever since he won it illegitimately from Martin Kirby a few weeks ago. Of course, that Magnificent 7 briefcase allows its holder to have a shot at the WCPW title at any time of their choosing. So I wonder whether Joe Hendry needs to keep half an eye over his shoulder at all times because Ligero could cash that in on him at any time.
No. Joe Hendry trusts El Ligero. BT Gunn trusts El Ligero. And vice versa. All these men, Joe Coffey and Travis Banks, they are all in it to win it. They are all members of the Prestige. The reason that Magnificent Seven briefcase rather, is in the ranks of the Prestige is so that Joe Hendry is safe from someone cashing in.
So full of nonsense. It's unbelievable.
Full of truth. Dave Bradshaw, that's the way it is.
As if you're talking about them like they're brothers. This is a total marriage of convenience, this Prestige. All of these are 5 of the most self-centered men in the Prestige that I've ever seen him, ever encountered in my life.
There's nothing wrong with that.
If they thought that they could gain some personal advantage by turning on their so-called friends here, they would do it in an instant. In fact, we've seen some of them do that in the past.
Well, don't forget the Prestige. 5 members almost became 6 at Stacked. Had the aerial assassin Will Ospreay saw sense and joined their ranks.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't do it, did he? Because
he
realised.
Pay for that further down the line, trust me.
Will he, though? Will he? Because I think that was absolutely the right decision. Will Ospreay does not need to be hanging around characters like these guys.
Inside the ring, Marty Scurll with El Ligero in the corner. Notice it's closer to Prestige members Hendry and Gunn than Marty Scurll would perhaps like, but it still feels a million miles for El Ligero.
And Scurll crawls underneath the legs of Ligero, now hooking the hands.
Both these men know one another so well, Dave Bradshaw. You can see that before your very eyes.
Scurll taking Ligero by surprise there, and the Mexican sensation sort of crawling backwards to his own corner, the relative safety where his buddies are. Here comes the hardcore champion, BT Gunn.
It almost strikes me that El Ligero is showing such self-awareness. He knows he's the smallest man in this match. Is that playing on his mind? You've already seen him standing on that Magnificent Seven briefcase. Is the diminutive stature in comparison to these huge men like Hansen and Rowe, is it getting inside the head of El Ligero?
Well,
certainly not getting inside the head of BT Gunn.
Well, goodness knows what's going on in the head of BT Gunn.
Success, that's what. The new WCPW hardcore champ. Nobody delivers a knife-edge chop. Wow, that's not what I expected.
It's like chopping a boulder.
Oh, BT Gunn, whenever he hits that chop, his opponent usually hits the deck.
BT Gunn gets slammed. Ligero is going to maybe get piled on top here. In comes Hansen. Hansen. There's been no tag. The War Machine don't care. Rowe picks up his partner and crushes 2 members of the Prestige.
This is what I feared. And here comes Hendry now. There goes Hendry now.
That went badly for the so-called prestigious one.
Oh no.
We've seen this before as well. Rowe sends Hansen into Hendry.
Not in the prestigious one's prestigious face. The prestigious one's prestigious good looks. I've almost been besmirched there by Hansen and Rowe, the War Machine. Imagine seeing that big rear end coming at you.
It is regrouping time for the Prestige as Marty Scurll encourages these...
Oh, the Prestige. They're planning a walkout here.
A walkout or a runaway.
Oh, don't come near us. Oh, no. Here we go.
Yeah, hang on. Rowe and Gunn are on the stage here, right near us, and Scurll and Ligero up here as well.
It was only a matter of time before this happened, Dave Bradshaw. A Pier 6 brawl, quite literally.
You know you're Rowe and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
I think he was talking to you there, Bradshaw.
He told you. Rowe with a chop across the chest of Ligero.
Wow.
I just want these guys as far away from us as possible. This is dangerous territory here.
Incredible action here. The Pro Wrestling World Cup is one thing, but having these 6 men beating the absolute bejesus out of each other, not only inside the ring, but outside of it and on the stage and at the commentary booth as well.
Rowe has placed Gunn on the top of the crowd barrier there, and Ligero's gone charging into the corner. He's now being beaten up. Gunn being pounded by Rowe. Hansen is treading on, is that Hendry down there?
Well, I need to regain my composure after hearing Marty Scurll call you a jabroni.
That's not what he said.
Marty Scurll, a house of fire here in Milton Keynes.
As you just experienced. Raymond Rowe. Oh, that shot into the jaw of Hendry. That might knock some sense into the man.
He's got very fresh, minty breath. I'll give him that, Marty Scurll.
Hendry.
Bastion of hygiene.
What? Are you still talking about something that happened 3 minutes ago?
Oh, come on, 3 minutes. Uh-oh.
Scurll tagged back in and Hendry's begging off. There's a brave champion.
Here comes the hardcore champion, the hardcore heavy of the prestige ranks, BT Gunn. And look at this, El Ligero, delighted with what's happening here.
Gunn trying to get Ligero's head back in the game, tags him in. There's still a match going on. Ligero would do well to remember that.
Stiff kick to the midsection of Marty Scurll, followed by a big forearm. Hansen falling off the ring apron.
Hansen went, I think, neck first into the top of that steel barrier as Ligero is charging into Scurll. They've got him cornered here in their own part of the ring. And say what you will about them, but that is very effective strategy from Hendry and co.
Well, this is where the villain does not want to be. This is hell for Marty Scurll. He's trapped in the lair of the prestige. And don't they know it?
Scurll finally finds a way out, but Hendry very pleased with his handiwork here. Ligero gonna send Scurll into the barrier. But guardrail a second time and it's collapsed it.
Collapsed just like Marty Scurll's WCPW title dreams did.
You have to have resilient knees to be in the front row tonight. Scurll comes back in. Against his will, he was thrown back in into a pinfall from Hendry. It was good for a 2 count.
But look at Joe Hendry immediately getting Marty Scurll back into that corner. The Prestige have Scurll exactly where they want him. The longer War Machine are out of this match, the better for Prestige.
Look at Ligero taunting the War Machine. That decision he might come to regret, but Scurll is trying to reach out for his partners to no avail.
It's 2-on-1 here. Oh! Spoke too soon.
Gunga took out by his own partner there. And Scurll cuts Ligero down to size.
Marty Scurll is a long way from home. Raymond Rowe desperate to get the tag, as is Hansen.
Yeah, but he's going to get to his feet. And there's the tag to Rowe. Hendry comes in without a tag. But when did the rules ever matter to our champion, eh? Hendry, go to the ropes. Gets taken down knee first by Raymond Rowe, right into the top of the chest, maybe the jaw.
That's a mistake on behalf of El Ligero.
El Ligero, the crowd letting him know that may have been.
Oh, there's no one there,
error.
Dave Bradshaw.
Yeah, Ligero looking for reinforcements, said, I'm not coming.
And he's only just realised he is all by himself against the monstrous Raymond Rowe.
Oh, this could get ugly. This could get ugly in a hurry. He's caught Gunn as well. Goodness me! Look at the strength to throw 2 men over your head.
And Hendry's been caught now.
Raymond Rowe single-handedly dismantling the Prestige here in Milton Keynes.
I was just about to say, I can't believe El Ligero got back on his feet, but not for long.
Drop kick off the top from BT Gunn. That might slow Rowe down.
The Prestige have to get back to basics here. They have to cut off that ring. Get Raymond Rowe back in the corner. We saw it earlier on with Marty Scurll. They must do it to Rowe now.
Well, referee Joel Allen, I think, had lost control of this one completely for the last couple of minutes, and he's in danger of doing so again. I have no idea who the actual legal man is supposed to be here on either team. I'm not sure he does either.
For the Prestige, it doesn't really matter right now. They have the upper hand.
I guess we'll assume it's Hendry and Rowe, and that's what referee is doing as he registers that 1 count.
If Joe Hendry wants to be in that ring, I say let him.
Of course you do.
Well, he's the best.
He'll kiss his backside, whatever he wants to do. Ligero putting the boot into Raymond. Have I upset you?
You haven't upset me. I was just about to say there are so many people who would love to press their lips against the prestigious one's prestigious backside.
Really?
They would even pay hundreds
How
of pounds
many?
to do it. Oh, thousands. Absolutely thousands.
You live in a strange world.
They're all butt kissers here in Milton Keynes.
What's that supposed to mean? What do you know about the people of Milton Keynes? Nothing.
Too much, that's what.
And look at Ligero. Suddenly he's all confident.
Well, El Ligero knows he now has backup. He didn't have it just a few short moments ago. And look at this now.
Ligero, what's he going to do here?
He's sitting down in the briefcase.
El Ligero sitting on that magnificent 7 briefcase. What is he doing? Why does he think that's a good idea against someone as dangerous as Raymond Rowe?
Don't poke the bear. He threw the briefcase away. That could be the biggest mistake Ligero ever made.
What was he thinking? Ligero had been knocked out by Rowe.
This crowd, they are anticipating that either Marty Scurll or the big man Hansen, it's Hansen, will enter this match.
Yeah, both Gunn and Hendry coming in to try and face this 350-pound behemoth, but Hansen not giving them a chance to get any offense in whatsoever.
Oh, we've seen this before, Dave Bradshaw. The War Machine turns forever. Hansen.
Where is Ligero? Ligero's behind him. Ligero climbing on the back of Hansen in desperation more than anything.
Hansen barely even left his feet there when El Ligero jumped onto his giant back.
Hansen.
Look at this, Dave.
Avalanche in the corner on Gunn, one on Hendry as well. Both the hardcore champion and the WCPW champion may have had their ribs broken.
Mind-bending strength. El Ligero might be the smallest man in this match, but he's still larger than your average human being.
Ligero is clinging on for dear life. Like a jockey on a horse is out of control. But now Hansen finally deposits Ligero on the canvas, much to the approval of this huge crowd.
Ligero needs to learn how to tame a dragon. It didn't work there on Hansen.
Hansen fired up. One half of the tag team champions goes into the corner. This time there's no one there, and Gunn gets the double knees to the jaw. And a second time, and look at that disrespect from Gunn.
Rowe straight in on BT Gunn.
Yeah, Rowe's not going to stand for that against his partner.
And look at this, so El Ligero, the smallest man in the match, always there. Oh!
Yeah, Hansen sits down with that full body weight onto Hendry.
You're going to have to scrape Joe Hendry off the canvas here.
Hansen sent to the ropes by Gunn and Ligero, broke it up. There's the handstand, a double back elbow.
Wow!
I never cease to be amazed by the agility of that big man Hansen.
The important thing for Hansen now is getting to Marty Scurll. The villain is feeling it. He wants in this match. The tide may well have turned in the favour of War Machine and Marty Scurll.
Hansen headed to his corner and tags in Scurll. Here comes the villain. The villain against the prestigious one.
Going straight for Hendry.
Of course he is. That rivalry for the WCPW title about to be rekindled here. Scurll's going to go for the chicken wing, and Ligero with the cheap shot.
Ligero always there when his partners need him. I'll give him that.
His partners weren't there for him earlier when he was backed into a corner by Rowe. Ligero still fighting on here. Brave little soldier that he is.
Oh.
Now he goes courtesy of Scurll.
Uh-oh.
Marty Scurll. There's the king, gets it right into the head of Ligero. And now what's this from Scurll? Scurll is maybe going to fly.
Gunn back to his feet, but maybe not for long.
Shoulder thrust into the midsection, try to roll through in the sunset flip. Scurll will go to the ropes, not once, but twice. And a boot right into the chest.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Gunn. Hendry, DDT.
Prestigious DDT right there. And look at that kip up from the WCPW champion, who better look behind him.
Here comes Rowe. Rowe spins Hendry and then knocks him out, surely, with that knee to the face. BT Gunn with some good martial arts style offense against first Rowe, and then a super kick into Hansen. Hansen, another handstand, and Hansen nearly takes Gunn's head off.
Cartwheel there from the big man.
El Ligero going for the seat for El, wasn't he? No, in the end it was like a beautiful disaster kick, reminiscent of Cody Rhodes.
Wait a minute.
There's a low blow, but he
no.
got caught. He got caught. Did you hear that?
Oh, I get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach every time I hear that sickening sound.
If you don't physically wince when you hear that noise, you may not be human.
That was disgusting.
Sends Ligero to the ropes again. Got him in the inverted crucifix position here. Oh, Gunn! What a super kick to Scurll.
Right to the jaw.
Some of these kicks from Gunn have been absolutely phenomenal.
Wait a minute now, the Prestige have isolated the villain.
And maybe going to go for the freak of nature here is Hendry. Nails it on Scurll. Ligero will go for the cover. Ligero to win it, and Scurll kicked out.
And here come War Machine now.
War Machine cleaning house of Hendry and Gunn.
And uh-oh.
Scurll's going to have to take a minute to recuperate. Ligero, though,
all on his own again.
Against the full force.
Do it. Double choke
War
slam.
Machine.
Come on, put your back into it, Ligero.
Ligero has made some poor choices during this match, and this may be the worst of all.
Oh, the tide has turned on
Ligero going for the ride of the choke slam.
Big double choke slam there.
Scurll gonna pick up Ligero onto his shoulders. Ligero with that, or Scurll I should say, with that manic look in his eyes. Spins him round.
Almost a TKO there. Hendry, the WCPW champ, in to save his prestige brother.
Oh, Hansen sends Hendry up. We've seen that before, and it's put away some of the best tag teams in the world. It's taken Joe Hendry out of the ring. Oh! Gunn gets power slammed off the launch from Rowe.
Almost out of his boots there, BT Gunn. What does Rowe have in mind?
Rowe and Hansen both going to the ropes. Hansen onto Hendry outside. And now Rowe is unloading on just in the entranceway on Gunn.
It's Scurll and El Ligero left alone in the ring.
They're back into that inverted crucifix. Scurll gets Ligero where he wants him now. It's in the side slam, the cover from Marty Scurll. That'll do it. Marty Scurll picks up the win, and the Prestige are beaten.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this contest, War Machine and the villain, Marty Scurll.
Well, they may be accumulating championship belts and Magnificent 7 briefcases, but the Prestige couldn't get it done against the tag team champions and the villain here at Planet Ice.
Well, almost some sweet, sweet revenge. Too sweet, if you like, for Marty Scurll against the Prestige, pinning El Ligero. War Machine, their job is done. The WCPW Tag Team Champions, they want out of here. Marty Scurll reveling in the delicious taste of victory.
Hendry low blow.
We've seen that before from the WCPW champion.
Yeah. In this building, Hendry did that to Kurt Angle in this building back in February.
And wait now, Dave Bradshaw, War Machine have left. Marty Scurll is all on his own.
Scurll is going to be taken apart here by the Prestige.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. What a terrible situation for Marty Scurll to be in.
Wrapping that left leg of the villain around the ring post. And Scurll is in a dangerous place here.
Well, the Prestige may not have won the battle tonight in Milton Keynes, but it looks to me, Dave Bradshaw, like they sure as hell are winning the war. And here comes the Magnificent 7 briefcase.
He never wants to graciously accept a defeat. The Prestige, as you see in here, and Scurll becoming the victim of that. Ligero has that briefcase. Right into the back of the leg of Scurll.
That was calculated. Definitely calculated. Look at this. Continuing the punishment on those legs. This is almost a mob beatdown, we're seeing.
We know how ruthless Hendry can be. That's how he won the WCPW title, by not being afraid to potentially damage an opponent beyond salvaging, and that is what is at risk here against Scurll. If this 3-on-1 assault continues here. Come on, we need some officials out here, for goodness sake. Gunn is still unloading on that left knee.
Hendry holding the WCPW title aloft.
Oh, God. See that.
Rubbing salt into the wounds, the fresh and open wounds of Marty Scurll here.
Gunn wrenching that leg backwards, and now the Hendry lock by the prestigious one.
Look how symbolic, the WCPW title dangling right in front of the eyes of Marty Scurll, so close yet so far.
It's pathetic, absolutely pathetic.
You may call it pathetic, Dave Bradshaw, but it's working for the Prestige.
What an insecure man Joe Hendry is. He can't accept that Scurll nearly beat him for the title, so he's had to try and put the villain out of commission permanently, and he may have succeeded.
The hardcore champion the holder of the Magnificent 7 briefcase, and the WCPW champion all belong to the Prestige.
Well, like them or loathe them, and most of us loathe them, but the Prestige standing tall here in Milton Keynes. DDT maybe to Matt counters.
Had it well scouted, Dave. Oh, look at this. Oh, German. Oh,
Suplex. Dragon suplex. He got it.
That dragon suplex did it. Wow.
Well, I said it at the start, I'll say it now. I think that extra rest time has come in handy here for Taguchi, because he is the one, as we are entering what presumably will be the latter stages of this match, he is the one who has the more energy left. Or does he? Roll through, victory roll from Takahashi, and Takahashi steals it! Takahashi steals it! Takahashi is going to the World Cup Finals! So Marty Scurll being helped out of here, he's walking out with some assistance, and obviously we wish our best to the villain as he maybe has to seek medical attention. You've got to think backstage. And right now we're going to head back to the last 16 of the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Right now, as you've just seen, Lucky Kid and Hiromu Takahashi qualifying for their respective countries, Germany and Japan. They're about to get it on with a place in the quarterfinals at stake.
Representing Germany, weighing 83 kilos, this is Lucky Kid!
Well, of all the 16 men in this round before the quarterfinals, the last 16 round here in the World Cup, you've got to say, and no disrespect to him, but Lucky Kid is probably the biggest underdog of all. He's been a remarkable success story in Germany, but he is absolutely the underdog against the more experienced Takahashi here. Can the Lucky Kid live up to his name?
Well, he's very well named so far in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. As you say, Lucky Kid.
Here with his mentor and friend, his sometime tag partner, Tarkan Aslan.
Will that luck run out tonight, Dave Bradshaw? Here comes another man who gives me the creeps, for very different reasons to Penta, but still the creeps nonetheless. Unhinged doesn't quite cover it.
Well, Lucky Kid is here with Aslan. Takahashi has a companion of his own who I'm sure is about to accompany him. His good luck charm here in the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Weighing 89 kilos, this is Hiromu Takahashi!
Hiromu Takahashi and Daryl, who has recently come back to life. The Jon Snow of cats, if you will.
The Jon Snow of cats. I bet you feel really proud of yourself after that one, don't you? The Jon Snow of cats. I still can't believe that the thing is called Daryl.
It's a miracle. He's been resurrected as Daryl after being ripped apart during the recent G1 Climax tournament over in New Japan. And Takahashi, as you can see just from the loving way in which he is holding Daryl there, is very pleased to have his partner back with him.
Well, I cannot believe that I just fist bumped with a toy. That's never happened to me, Dave Bradshaw.
Not a toy.
Come on, you're telling me that this thing, Daryl, holds some kind of sway, some kind of power? It means a lot to Takahashi, I'll give you that, but come on, this is absurd.
He has been the mastermind behind Takahashi's recent success, has Daryl, and what a lot of success he's had. A recent reign as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, just lost it in June to Kushida, and of course he qualified for the last 16 here in the World Cup by beating Yohei Komatsu and Ryosuke Taguchi.
Look at this, Daryl sitting poised, best seat in the house. Did that thing pay for a ticket? That's what I want to know.
The manager.
Oh, come on, we've already been over this at Stacked. Daryl does not own a manager's license.
Clearly he does, because our referee, Chris Sharp, one of the most experienced referees in the game, is not insisting that Daryl returns to the locker room area, so I think you might find you're incorrect.
Please, you're telling me that James R. Kennedy may have lost his manager's license, but a stuffed toy has one?
That is exactly what I'm telling you.
Maybe he stole mine, that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway...
You do look kind of similar.
Oh, come on. I look nothing like a toy cat.
No, you're right, he's more handsome.
Ugh. Anyway, let's get on with business here, what we have in the ring. Lucky Kid against... And look, Takahashi going back to Daryl.
He needs a bit of advice, bit of a pep talk here before we get underway.
No,
oh,
Lucky
hang on.
Kid. Oh, this might anger Takahashi.
Of course it will. Takahashi's not going to want Lucky Kid. Lucky Kid seems to be getting on great with Daryl.
Waving at this thing. If it waves back, I'm out of here, I'm telling you that.
He already fist bumped you.
Well,
anyway.
I'm telling you, I did not move my hand forward. There's something going on with that thing.
Well, fun and games out of the way here now for Lucky Kid, because he has to really focus on how he's going to beat a man who, as I said, has considerably more experience. Although Lucky Kid's not a rookie. He debuted in 2008. He's current WXW Tag Team Champion and HCW Hungary Championship Wrestling Tag Champion. He's been a 3-time champion in his home promotion, GWF, as well.
Comes with quite the resume, but Takahashi, a very, very measured man inside that ring. He wants a quarter-final slot in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Lucky Kid going for it, though.
And Takahashi walking calmly out of the way. Lucky Kid
sits down in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, there's some mind games going on from both of these guys here. You see Takahashi nonchalantly walking away to avoid what could have been a dive over the top, and then Lucky Kid with that grin on his face. This is an interesting standoff here. Sit-off, if you will.
Well, Takahashi, one of the most unique men I have ever seen in this industry, and look, going nose to nose with Lucky Kid. Oh, this is just sinister, Dave Bradshaw. Both these men wearing almost 6 smiles on their faces. We've never seen a match like this one in the Pro Wrestling World Cup so far.
Yeah, Lucky Kid seems like he's perfectly willing to get into the same headspace as Takahashi. Big chop from Kid. Takahashi with a smile on his face as he delivers a reply. This one-upmanship continuing between these two.
Back and forth they go here in Milton Keynes.
Man, this is getting intense between the two of them, and Lucky Kid finally sends Takahashi reeling over to the ropes. Takahashi baseball slides his way out of the ring to avoid the turnbuckles. He's back in. Lucky Kid's going to try and follow, and Takahashi may have drawn him in and sends him to the outside. That's a bit of a mistake there from Lucky Kid. Takahashi knew exactly what he was doing, drawing him into that.
Well, look, Takahashi does that so well, almost avoids going into the corner, slides out of the ring, comes back in with tremendous pace. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's quite the sight to behold. Now, we may think this man is unhinged, but he's almost cerebral, super smart from Takahashi.
As much as it is true that Lucky Kid has been wrestling for 9 years, he has. It's a different level when you go up against someone the caliber, someone who's had such success in places like New Japan as Takahashi has. Oh my God!
Oh.
Well, Aslan got sent into the crowd barrier. Now his mentee, I guess, Lucky Kid, follows him there.
Nothing lucky about that one for Lucky Kid. Both he and his second here down.
Takahashi going to roll Lucky Kid back into the ring. For a lateral press, it's just a 1 count. Didn't hook the leg as Lucky Kid very emphatically kicks out.
Takahashi almost surveying the scene. He's taking his time here. It's almost like he believes he's already in the quarterfinals of the Pro Wrestling World Cup. That's how cocksure this man is.
He's never short of confidence, is Takahashi. He's going to head to the ropes. Low drop kick. Again, he'll try for the cover. Again, doesn't hook the leg. I'm not sure.
You do not want to miss, or you do not want to underestimate or misunderstand what Lucky Kid has to offer.
See, I'm not sure that at this point Takahashi is seriously trying to win the match, so that's why he's not hooking the leg. What he's showing here is more of that psychological mind games. He's showing his dominance by saying, I can cover you, I can get your shoulders to the mat anytime I want.
Well, that's what it's all about, putting the cat, Daryl, if you like, there in the corner. It's all mind games. It's getting inside the head of Takahashi's opponents. It's working so far with Lucky Kid. He was almost distracted by Daryl, and Takahashi has taken full advantage.
Takahashi is dictating the pace, dictating pretty much everything that's going on here inside the ring as Lucky Kid gets chopped.
Another big chop there, and another.
He's fighting back though, to his credit, as Lucky Kid. Takahashi, it's another chop, and Kid building up some momentum. Gonna send Takahashi to the ropes. No, he's not. Gets countered and a forearm into the face.
And oh, just kicking that middle rope into the throat of Lucky Kid, and then the big super kick.
Innovative cover there from Takahashi, but again, the kick out.
There's nothing conventional about Takahashi. I'm beginning to learn that very, 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 very quickly.
Head scissors now, and a moment ago we saw the chin lock, so Takahashi clearly interested in wearing this young man down methodically. Lucky Kid, if he's able to get up ahead of steam, we saw it in the German qualifiers where he beat Juvenile X and Damak. When he was able to do that, he was at his best. So if you can wear him down, slow down the flow of oxygen, as Takahashi has been systematically doing here, and that may be the key to beating this young man from Berlin.
Well, Takahashi is almost the kind of pro wrestler who can work at different speeds, work different styles against a contrast of styles when he's in there against different opponents. We've yet to really see that from Lucky Kid, and if you ask my opinion, Dave Bradshaw, Lucky Kid looks a little bit rattled by all these mind games.
Daryl is back in play here. Takahashi has Daryl. Lucky Kid hasn't seen him. And Daryl to the head of Lucky Kid.
Is that legal? Does Takahashi even care?
I'm not sure it's illegal. It's not like a hard object.
Well, I don't know. He obviously didn't fist bump you as hard as he fist bumped me, Daryl.
The referee is admonishing Takahashi, but that is all he's doing. He hasn't called for the bell. He hasn't disqualified this young star from Japan.
All mind games with Takahashi.
They put in the time bomb, and you never know when that bomb is going to explode.
Tick tock, tick tock.
In fact, he was trying to get Lucky Kid on his shoulders there for the move he calls the time bomb. Instead, he takes a kick to the back of the head from Lucky Kid.
Lucky Kid now feeling some momentum swinging his way.
Kid!
He's right to.
Yeah, he sends Takahashi hard into the corner. His whole body weight as he charges at him a second time. And will he go 3 for 3 here? Lucky Kid, yes he does.
He gets it.
Takahashi is being battered here.
Oh, but look, there's the experience of Takahashi. After taking all those blows, coming back strong.
Takahashi got countered into a swinging DDT from Lucky Kid. Hooks the left leg. The shoulders of Takahashi are down, but they're only down for 2.5.
Lucky Kid almost hesitated there, wanted both legs because Takahashi so close to that bottom rope. That was going through Lucky Kid's mind. You could see it right there. He wanted those legs away from the rope, and that hesitation meant he got 2 instead of 3.
Lucky Kid, I think, is trying to get the crowd to give him some extra energy here. That second wind he needs as he stalks Takahashi. Rear waist lock, maybe going for the dragon suplex. That's his finishing move, Lucky Kid.
Backed into the corner though by Takahashi.
Headbutt into the turnbuckle. Takahashi's now moving, so both men colliding into the turnbuckle. Lucky Kid on the apron.
Oh, that's almost a knockout blow. You can see he's out on his feet there, Lucky Kid.
It's good if he had the ropes to hold him up. Or is it? Because in the end, Takahashi's going to try and powerbomb Lucky Kid onto that hard arena floor.
This would be the end of Lucky Kid.
Hold on, Kid.
Unlucky Kid tonight.
Couldn't hold on, and he got powerbombed onto the corner of the ring apron.
Look at the grimace of pain in Lucky Kid's face. His eyes rolling back into his skull there. The referee starts the count.
You see him holding his lower back, Lucky Kid, after that took the brunt of that landing.
One thing you don't want to do here, Bradshaw, is lose by count out. Pinfall or submission, they're one thing entirely. They're different to a count out. It's
almost still a loss. It's a crazy thing to say. No one wants to lose in any way.
No, they don't want to lose, Bradshaw. Of course they don't want to lose. But the last thing you want to do is get counted out. And Lucky Kid roaring back into the ring. And this live crowd appreciating it.
Takahashi may be frustrated. I think he thought after the sheer strength of that powerbomb that Kid would just stay down on the outside.
You're right, absolutely bang on the money. I believe Takahashi believed he had the match won there.
Going for the time bomb. He's going for the time bomb, looking to finish it. Lucky Kid escapes, slap across the face, a second, a third, and then the high knee into the jaw of Takahashi.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Lucky Kid trying to take Takahashi out of the head scissors. His grip slipped. Takahashi stays inside the ring.
Comes out to join Lucky Kid on the ring apron now. Dangerous territory for both these young men.
There are forearms being exchanged in this precarious spot on the ring apron. Referee trying to implore both of these guys to get back in the ring, but Knife Man wants to. Takahashi got his leg caught. Lucky Kid takes full advantage.
Almost unfortunate for Takahashi. Here comes Lucky Kid.
Lucky Kid will leap over the top.
Wow, the momentum firmly with Kid.
He landed hard on top of Takahashi, and there is absolutely no padding whatsoever on that floor.
Solid, solid ice underneath those boards. And right now, Takahashi laid out on that cold, unforgiving ice.
We saw a quick timeout there from Lucky Kid as Aslan gave him a bit of water.
A timeout from facing the ticking time bomb.
And you talked about a count out a minute ago. Well, Takahashi had to be a little bit careful there. He was just a few seconds away, rolls back in.
And I think there as well, Lucky Kid thought he had the count out. As sure as Takahashi believed moments ago he had Lucky Kid down for the count, Lucky Kid thought Takahashi was done for.
Lucky Kid trying to pick up Takahashi here. Gonna get him with the side slam. The cover from Lucky Kid. Did he? No.
Oh, Lucky Kid looks forlorn there at the referee.
That was a little bit unlucky because I think, again, that's a real 50-50 decision whether that was a 2 or a 3.
It wasn't far away.
Again, going for the dragon suplex. That's why he's trying to link in that full Nelson position. Boots up from Lucky Kid.
Pace is quickened here.
Yeah, and that suits Kid, I think. Lucky Kid headed to the top, gaining in confidence by the second. Kid got caught. He got caught. He took too long, and Takahashi caught him in midair.
Ill-advised to take that high of a risk. It may have worked for Lucky Kid. If it had, we'd be singing a different tune. But as things stand, Takahashi back in control. Or is he, Dave Bradshaw? Which way is this match going to turn now?
That's why they call it high risk. If it goes well, it can win you a match. If it goes badly, it could cost you everything. And it could cost Lucky Kid everything. It's a time bomb. He countered. Lucky Kid has Takahashi's shoulders down for the upset. And he nearly got it, but he didn't.
Big roaring elbow there. Right into Takahashi. Here comes Lucky Kid again.
He gets caught. German suplex.
Beautifully executed by this man, Takahashi. Never fails to amaze what he's capable of inside a wrestling ring.
Incredible stuff from these two men.
Well, you mentioned earlier on in this broadcast, Dave Bradshaw, that all these entrants in the round of 16, they want these matches over quickly. We're not seeing that here with Takahashi and Lucky Kid. They're having to go the distance to put the other man away.
Yeah, I think it's wishful thinking for anyone who thinks that they're once they're at this stage in the tournament, that they're going to be able to put anyone away quickly, because all of these guys have earned their spot here.
Oh, they're nose to nose again.
Again, they're going to exchange strikes, but you just see how exhausted both of these men are at this point in the match.
The head, the red hair of Takahashi flying back from that big chop from Lucky Kid.
And don't think for a second that the mind games, the psychological warfare has not stopped neither man wanting to show any weakness to the other, even at this stage.
Oh, they're out on their feet, Bradshaw. This is a real war.
Takahashi charges in behind him and catches him. Lucky Kid does the same. So well matched. Oh, sit out powerbomb from Takahashi to go through, and again, once again, Lucky Kid found enough fuel left in the tank to get out, but again the time bomb attempt. This time he gets it. Takahashi
That's got to be it.
Nails the time bomb, and no! Lucky Kid kicks out.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. Nonchalantly proclaimed that this match was over with. I think Takahashi believed it, as did this capacity crowd here at Planet Ice in Milton Keynes. But the fact remains that Lucky Kid is very much still in this match.
Takahashi, I'm not sure he knows what else he can do to this kid, because Lucky Kid,
he's dead weight at this point.
But he kicked out of the time bomb. Takahashi's main weapon in his arsenal is the time bomb. I mean,
is he going to go for it again?
Yeah. Or maybe he's going to try and charge with him, but Lucky Kid caught him and clothesline.
Lucky Kid looking to take advantage of that big clothesline.
He may do so. It's a sliced bread from Lucky Kid. Is he going to go? No.
Oh, my word. Both these men, as you made the point, Bradshaw, I have to give you that. Lucky Kid and Takahashi, so well matched here in the round of 16.
And that's credit to Kid, by the way, because, as we said, people were saying that Takahashi was the favourite here, but this is an absolute coin toss, this one now.
Well, pick a side, heads or tails, Takahashi or Lucky Kid. It's anyone's guess at this juncture.
Lining him up again, maybe. Is he going to try for the Dragon Suplex again? Yep, he's headed for that full Nelson, got half Nelson. He hooks the legs back, and he gets it. Well, in the end, it wasn't a Dragon Suplex, it was a German Suplex.
Oh, Takahashi, though, back to his feet.
Again trying for it, once again trying. And now, Takahashi gets the time bomb again. Surely this time, it's got to do it. Surely, and it does. Takahashi advances to the quarterfinals.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest and advancing to the quarterfinals, Hiromu Takahashi!
So Hiromu Takahashi in a hard-fought match against Lucky Kid of Germany. But in the end, Takahashi was able to pick up the win after, how many times was that? What, the second or third time bomb?
Almost lost count, but no disgrace for Lucky Kid to be eliminated by Takahashi, and you know what that means, Dave Bradshaw.
I certainly do. Hiromu Takahashi advances to tomorrow's quarterfinals in Manchester, where he'll face Joe Coffey or another opponent who is yet to be named. Michael Elgin was supposed to be part of this last 16. He's had to pull out the second Canadian representative.
Well, it's got to be Coffey then, Bradshaw.
Well,
it must be.
Will it, or will there be another opponent named? We don't know.
Well, I think
what is going to happen
Joe
about
Coffey
that.
should get a bye, in my humble opinion.
Of course you do, it's in the prestige. Well, Takahashi is your winner. No idea. Oh my! There might not be much left to face of Flash Morgan Webster after
he's going
that.
for it again. Angelico.
The fall of the Angels. He's trying it for goodness knows what time, what attempt number this is. This year, or this match rather. The cover though. Oh, counter from Webster. Counter into a sunset flip. And he got him. And Angelico wins it. Ricochet, shooting star. And he hurt himself. He will not release that grip. He's been caught. The powerbomb, the sit-out powerbomb from Keith Lee. Surely, no! Again!
I'm speechless, Bradshaw. But we're not done. Keith Lee going again and again.
But the powerful counter, the counter from Ricochet. He hooks the leg. Ricochet! He's in the finals!
Round of 16 match, scheduled for one fall. Representing South Africa, weighing at 90 kilos, this is Angelico!
Angelico claimed the 16th and final spot in this last 16 round of the World Cup back at the Rest of the World qualifiers. Just less than a month ago, I guess it was, and he is now Africa's sole representative. So not only representing South Africa, but an entire continent's hopes rest on the shoulders of this young man from Johannesburg.
No pressure then, huh? Angelico doesn't look like he's feeling it right here tonight. Very, very laid-back individual, but a dynamo when that bell rings and the match gets going.
He beat Icarus of Hungary and Flash Morgan Webster of Wales to get to this point. But with no disrespect to either of those two gentlemen, his biggest challenge so far, surely, in this tournament, is about to face him, because he is about to come face to face with a king.
Representing the United States of America, weighing 203 pounds, this is Ricochet!
Well, I said last night when we were on pay-per-view that Ricochet may be my favourite to win this whole thing. I've raised a few eyebrows, but let me make my case here. He is one of the most experienced tournament wrestlers in the world. He won the Battle of Los Angeles and PWG back in 2014. In that same year, he was the best of the Super Juniors in New Japan. This man knows what he's doing in this kind of environment, and I think Ricochet's moment may be about to come to the USA in this World Cup.
You said it best when you called Ricochet a king. King Ricochet, wrestling royalty. And not only in 2017, but for years now, this man, his stock has been rising. Can he go all the way and win the Pro Wrestling World Cup? Round of 16 though, he's up against almost a dark horse in this competition. South Africa's own Angelico, well, he's laid back, but now it's time to get going against King Ricochet.
Don't forget Penta El Zero Miedo already qualifying for the quarterfinals. The winner of this match will face him tomorrow night in Manchester.
Oh, that's a daunting prospect right there.
Those quarterfinals, by the way, again free on YouTube. Different start time, 9 p.m. UK time tomorrow. That's 4 p.m. Eastern in the United States. If you're watching and supporting Ricochet over there, if he is still in at this point tomorrow, then I'm sure there's going to be lots of fans wanting it. But there's also, by the way, lots of fans in the continent of Africa, and in particular South Africa, who believe that Angelico can pull this off here.
Well, it's great for these countries being involved in such a prestigious, to borrow a phrase from a very popular group here in WCPW, a prestigious competition like the Pro Wrestling World Cup. It's huge for someone like Angelico. Do you think that Ricochet is going to go the whole way? He's your pick, Dave Bradshaw.
I've said it. I'm not going to sit on the fence, which I assume you're going to do.
Well, I'm going to support the winner, but, you know, that's a different story.
Yep,
It's so hard to pick between all these great athletes. Give me a break here.
Yeah, so why stick your neck out, eh?
Exactly. And I'm glad you're seeing things my way.
These two exchanging hammerlocks into the side headlock now from Angelico. That may take down attempt, but Ricochet lands on his feet.
And Ricochet, a real star performer in the world of professional wrestling. Angelico will admire what the King has to offer. Very respectful in the early exchanges here, but trust me, I don't think that'll last long.
Ricochet beat his friend and sometime tag team partner Matt Sydal before having an absolute barn burner against Keith Lee in those USA qualifiers. And you talk about resilience, you talk about the capacity to come back from the dead. King Ricochet showed against Keith Lee just how much heart, just how much spirit he has in him.
Well, that was my pick from the Pro Wrestling World Cup qualifiers. Ricochet versus Keith Lee. Keith Lee, no disgrace in going out to someone like King Ricochet, but he would have loved to have been here, the big man.
And we saw this yesterday on Stacked. Ricochet taking on Rey Mysterio yesterday.
Oh, yes.
One of his heroes. Mysterio eventually won that match, but Mysterio getting frustrated at parts of that contest when he couldn't get Ricochet off his feet, and Angelico is having the same problem.
Ricochet, supremely athletic, so agile, moves like few others in wrestling. And there's a classic example from the King.
Nipping up there, and Ricochet goes to the ropes again, rolls off the back of Angelico, ducks a clothesline twice. This time Angelico's going to go low, gets caught by Ricochet.
Right in the bread basket. Ricochet gearing up for something huge here.
Oh, Angelico's back in there, and Angelico going to cut him off. No, he's not, because Ricochet saw it coming. They both missed with the knees. Angelico going to catch him with the Hurricane Rana. Ricochet nips up again.
It's back to what you were saying, Bradshaw. So frustrating for Ricochet's opponents to see that athleticism before your very eyes.
But then, interestingly, it was a simple drop kick from Angelico that did take Ricochet off his feet.
Back to basics.
Element of surprise there from Angelico. Speaking of surprise, look at that.
Straight out of South Africa, representing, as you pointed out, the entire continent of Africa, not only the southern part of it. Angelico, no pressure, but he's delivering so far here tonight in Milton Keynes.
Angelico, though he's from South Africa, has mostly made his name over in Mexico. In the world of lucha libre, he's a 3-time AAA World Tag Team Champion with the American Jack Evans, 2-time Lucha Underground Trios Champion.
Now, if I'm Angelico, I go straight to work on those legs. You have to find a way to ground King Ricochet to stand a chance. Oh, hard into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, that was an awkward way in which Ricochet's head kind of snapped into that top turnbuckle. Angelico senses it, goes for a cover, and Ricochet not even allowing his shoulders to stay down for more than a 1 count.
Talk about grounding the man. Angelico nearly sent King Ricochet careening out of the ring, but he went hard with his head into that top turnbuckle, still wearing the ill effects of it, King Ricochet.
He's back to his feet, but Angelico wisely trying to keep the pressure on. And yeah, Ricochet is out of sorts here after that, you know.
Angelico has him rattled. I'm very, very impressed by the South African.
Angelico giving no time for recuperation whatsoever, picks him up. So a suplex takes him down. Ricochet with the wind knocked out of him, forced to exert a lot more energy kicking out of that pin.
Well, you said it, Bradshaw. This is the biggest test for Angelico in this competition, the Pro Wrestling World Cup so far. Great wins over Icarus and Flash Morgan Webster, but King Ricochet is on another level from almost everyone in this competition.
He's hooked his arm over the top rope to prevent Angelico sending him across the ring
to put him away.
Well, that might not have been special, but it was ugly even, but it was enough to take Ricochet down. And the young man from Kentucky is in a bit of distress, and he has been for the last couple of minutes, ever since that head went into the turnbuckle.
I would wager that Ricochet spent a little bit too much time on the mat for his liking so far in this contest.
That's a big uppercut, though, from Ricochet. Oh, my! Oh! The throat of Angelico wrenched into the top rope.
I don't know about you, but that must be a game changer in my mind.
Well, we'll see, because Ricochet senses he could get the pin. He rolls him back away from the ropes. Angelico had to get that shoulder up rather than just grab the rope. Smarts there from Ricochet to force him to use even more energy.
He was grabbing at his... Angelico was grabbing at his throat straight away. King Ricochet noticed that and went right back to work on it.
There's a snap there, and then into the head scissors. Squeezing those thighs, those strong thighs of Ricochet, really wrenching and putting the pressure on to the head of Angelico.
Oh, just bashing his face into the canvas.
Well, if you're watching this, and what a night it's been so far here in this round of 16, we still want to know what you think about who's going to come out on top in this match and all of our remaining matches. in this last 16, and who you think is going to have the pick of these quarterfinal matches, as we are gradually learning who is advancing in the bracket. Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Well, the winner of this one, either Angelico or Ricochet, goes on to the quarterfinals. And check this, Penta is waiting ominously for one of these two men.
Yeah. Interested to know who Penta would rather face, you know, because he knows Angelico a lot better. Both of them were in AAA at the same time for a long while. That said, he's been in Lucha Underground with Ricochet, so I don't know if he has a preference. Cover and a leg hook, but a 2 count.
Either one's a hard matchup, I would say. Penta against Ricochet, almost a dream match for many people, but as you say, Angelico, no slouch either. Both matches would be tremendous. But there can only be one Dave Bradshaw. Ricochet and Angelico know that. They can't think about Penta right now. They have to get by one another.
And to be honest, I doubt Penta is even looking forward to tomorrow at this point. He should just be celebrating the fact that he managed to get past Bad Bones. What a match that was. Take a breath. Think about it in the morning.
Absolutely. Count those bruises while you're at it.
Ricochet charges with another uppercut into the chest of Angelico, who is going limp here. This is trouble for the South African. Ricochet into the corner, pushes Angelico away. Oh! Both men go down. Both men striking each other with the knees.
Last gasp effort there from Angelico. The knee, I don't know if it collided with the forehead, the nose, or the jaw, but you pick your poison there.
I tell you what, if this is a double count out, if neither of these men can answer the 10 count, then Penta gets the night off tomorrow. He goes to the semis.
Wouldn't that be something? A straight up bye for Penta.
Well, fortunately,
it doesn't look like it's going to happen, though.
It's hypothetical because both men are moving. We don't want to see anyone reach the semi-finals without having to compete in a quarter-final. And we don't want to see this match end in a double count-out. This has been absolutely absorbing from the opening bell.
Well, it's the potential in all these round of 16 matches. So threatening, so dangerous. It's not only one man could advance, two could go out if there's a double count-out.
That's absolutely right. Only winners advance, and then Angelico trying to make sure that he is going to be that winner as he challenges Ricochet to strike it, ducks the punch, and now here come the kicks.
Great speed there from Angelico.
Angelico so fast, lightning sometimes. Well, Ricochet put the head down, maybe it's a little too early, goes to the leg sweep with Angelico, and in the end, it's the roundhouse kick around the head of Ricochet.
The length of Angelico's legs came into play.
Goes for the cover and a 2 count.
And that may be the advantage that Angelico has over King Ricochet. Look at the length of the limbs on this South African. There's no other man with his body shape in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. He's truly unique.
That's a great point, and if he can use that to his advantage, as he has been here, then that could take him a long way. Now maybe he's going to go for that fall of the angels, the crucifix turnbuckle bomb. This is how he advanced through those rest of the world qualifiers. Ricochet knows that this is trouble for him. He's just able to escape.
Oh.
Ricochet, 619, borrowed from the man who beat him yesterday. Springboard from Ricochet. No one there. And a kick into the midsection saves Angelico's match.
And Angelico not wasting any time.
Angelico with a double foot stomp into the back. Wow. Angelico, cover, leg hooked to advance. Ricochet gets the right shoulder up.
If you notice there, Angelico only able to hook Ricochet's leg on the count of 2. Had he done it on 1, things could have been different. Angelico could have advanced to the quarterfinals.
Also, yeah, he didn't get as much body weight as he might have liked. Angelico is still exhausted. But if nothing else, that double foot stomp has bought him some time and has given him the upper hand back. He's got to make the most of it. He's going to go for the fall of the angels again. Ricochet, counter.
Oh, another big knee.
Angelico goes
We've seen
down.
some teeth flying tonight, Bradshaw.
Oh, it has been absolutely smash mouth, as they say in the US. These two, look at them. Just exhausted in their corners. They're like two boxers who need the end of a round, but both of them going to continue as they know how. Look at this from Ricochet. Unbelievable. The running shooting star Surely this is it, isn't it? Isn't it? No!
Well, Ricochet thought it was all over with. He's disconsolate. Look at his expression.
If there's anyone who knows how to hang in there, it's Ricochet. We saw that against Keith Lee. He's not going to be disheartened. He's going to go straight back to the task at hand.
Picks Angelico back up off the canvas.
Yeah, he's looking for the Benadrylla. Instead of an elbow to the side of the head. That's a clothesline. Oh, Angelico landed on his feet. Double foot stomp again from Angelico.
But he can't capitalise, and that's very, very crucial. If he could even drape a leg over King Ricochet's body.
He does now. He drapes an arm.
It was too little, too late, though. If he'd have just put a leg down, that may have counted as a cover.
Well, that's easy to say that sitting here, but I'm not sure there was enough energy left in the body of Angelico to even do that. And can you blame him after what these two have been through here?
Well, you and I haven't been through what Angelico and King Ricochet have been through. You're absolutely spot on that one.
Yeah, I think I'd be headed to an early grave if I went through what these two have been through here.
Oh, we can but hope.
Well, that was charming. Angelico going for the fall of the Angels. Again, Ricochet knows he has to get out, so he holds on to that turnbuckle, wraps his legs around the ropes. But now Angelico
wouldn't be the late great Dave Bradshaw, I'll tell you that for nothing.
Going for maybe a belly to back suplex is Angelico.
This is ominous, dangerous for both these men. Whoever hits hard here may win.
Well, you don't want to be on the canvas if Ricochet is headed to the top. Angelico knows he's got to take evasive action, and that's what he does.
But look at Ricochet. Even though he was knocked off that lofty perch, he had the presence of mind to grab those ropes, because had he fallen to the ice of this arena in Milton Keynes, he may have been knocked out cold.
The crowd here clapping along. Respect for both of these guys. Oh, God. Angelico again gets pulled into the ropes.
We are seeing exactly what the Pro Wrestling World Cup means to the great nations of America and South Africa right here tonight. Angelico and Ricochet leaving it all in the ring.
He's looking for a neck breaker. He's looking for a neck breaker is Ricochet, and Angelico elbows his way free. Still on the apron, both of them, as a chop. Angelico is going to give him a receipt. Big boot. These two are just
right to the top of the head almost. Down onto the chest.
It's like they're challenging each other. How much have you got left? Can you keep up with me? If I strike you, can you strike me?
I'd be telling referee Joel Allen.
Oh, there is the neck breaker right on the ring apron.
And that's all it can take. One moment can swing the momentum one way, and it looks like it's firmly in the court of Ricochet.
Although Ricochet, much like Angelico, they're in identical positions here. Neither man is moving after that.
I can't blame them for that.
Neck breaker, and as much as obviously most of the impact lands on Angelico, Ricochet had to land hard on the apron as well to deliver that move.
100%. He also had to soak up some of that impact.
Here he comes. Oh my! Springboard 450!
That's incredible.
From Ricochet! And is that... Oh, again Angelico kicks out. This
almost is a mini temper tantrum there from Ricochet, kicking his legs and arms, pounding them on the canvas, frustrated that wasn't the end.
Obviously, as you'd imagine, the great and good of the wrestling world are watching this Pro Wrestling World Cup with great interest, and Angelico's stock, I think, has risen even further than it was before. It is doing so again here as he continues to refuse to die here against Ricochet.
It was always going to be a proving ground, this Pro Wrestling World Cup, for guys like Angelico.
Angelico rolls through, victory roll. He's got both legs, the shoulders are down, and Ricochet just got out. Scissors kick. A roundhouse from Ricochet. Gonna go for the Benadrylla. Will he get it? No, he won't. Well, he did, he kind of did, but Angelico countered as well, and not for the first time. Both men are down in the middle of the ring.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Both these men, Angelico, coming into his own here against King Ricochet.
Deja vu here.
Both men down. The referee has a decision to make here.
What a great spectacle here in Milton Keynes. This round of 16, and this match has been right up there with the best of them. We are not done yet here either between Angelico and Ricochet.
And there is not a pair of eyes in this building that are not focused on the wrestling ring right now. Everyone sucked into this tremendous action between King Ricochet and Angelico. He's going for it again, Dave Bradshaw.
It's his third time he's tried for the fall of the Angels. Ricochet escaped in both of the first two attempts. Will he do so this time? Maybe not, because Angelico has got him up there. Ricochet rolls through, shoulders down from Angelico. Another 2 count. Angelico going to try and catch him, and he does.
That could be all she wrote.
This time he does manage to land on top of him. Oh, again.
Wow.
Far from emphatic, but the shoulder does go up. Ricochet survives.
What is it going to take to put away one of these two men? Both men down again.
The crowd in Milton Keynes are right on the money. This is awesome. Ricochet still down. Angelico is up to one knee.
What a match we are seeing here. Angelico showing exactly what he's made of. South Africa must be so proud of this man.
Angelico, again a 4th attempt. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Ricochet in the crucifix position. Nowhere to go. Ricochet headed for the fall of the Angels. He got countered. Angelico stumbles on the middle turnbuckle. Reverse Rana. Angelico lands hard on his shoulder and the back of his head. Ricochet going round and round. What's this now? Ricochet twisting the arms. What's he trying to achieve here against Angelico? Maybe trying to hyperextend the elbow.
He's got it as well.
Oh, he's got that submission. It's a submission hold. A submission hold. Angelico
tries to get to the ropes.
And yeah, brings it. Yeah, it's it. That's it. Well, Ricochet calls that the Sol Naciente, the rising sun.
The winner of this contest and advancing to tomorrow's quarterfinals, Ricochet.
So Ricochet will advance, and he is going to face, as we said earlier, Penta El Zero Miedo tomorrow night, the quarterfinals in Manchester. What a match. What a war between the United States Ricochet and South Africa's Angelico.
What does Ricochet have left though? Penta may pick clean the bones of King Ricochet, but he's back on his feet, Dave Bradshaw. He's an absolute warrior, is the King.
Ricochet gets a well-deserved standing ovation.
Nothing to be ashamed of for Angelico though. He left it all in the ring tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Angelico has done himself proud. He has done his country and his continent proud throughout this Pro Wrestling World Cup. But for now, in the year 2017, in this tournament, that is the end of the road for Angelico as Ricochet advances.
Oh, Angelico pushing Ricochet in the chest there.
Well, he's clearly disappointed, as you would expect. Angelico is not a bad guy, I'll tell you that, but he's obviously disheartened, having put in a superhuman effort here.
Ricochet will understand that, no doubt about that. Everyone wants to win, no one wants to lose the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
And there we see it, the great show of respect between those two great athletes. Ricochet goes to Manchester to face Penta El Zero Miedo. Oh, all right, well, we are going to roll on here in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Our next match in this round of 16 is Kushida of Japan, the winner of this year's Best of the Super Juniors, against Scotland's Kenny Williams.
What
a remarkable match. Right now, I thought we were going to go to the video. What is this?
That sounds like the Prestige to me, Bradshaw.
Well, Joe Coffey is coming out here, and as far as we know, in the absence of an opponent for Coffey, with Michael Elgin pulling out, Coffey may have the night off. He may be advancing to the quarterfinals tomorrow. But in that case, here's a question. If he thinks he's got a bye, why even come out here?
Who are we to question the Iron King? The prestigious own Joe Coffey can do exactly what he wants, anytime, any place, Dave Bradshaw. He has a microphone in his hand. Clearly, Coffey has something to say. He has a bye into the next round of the Pro Wrestling World Cup, though. It's going to be interesting to see which words come out of his mouth.
Joe Coffey is in the ring here. What has already been a bad night for the Prestige. That six-man match earlier on, losing to War Machine and Marty Scurll.
Maybe that's what Coffey will address here.
It's good to come to Milton Keynes all the way down here and have the night off.
There we go. He said it best.
See, Joe Coffey has the night off, a bye to the next round. Why? Because Michael Elgin was too scared to face the king of this ring.
I would say that's 100% accurate, Dave Bradshaw.
Well, of course you would.
And a message to the rest of you in the tournament. See, you're not in my way. I don't see you. I just see right through you. And I will be the world champion. This whole tournament, this World Cup, the WCPW World Champion. I want it all. So referee, come and raise my hands right now. Get out here. Now!
He has every right to do this, Dave Bradshaw. He has a bye into the next round.
Is this really necessary?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Joe Coffey.
Come on, referee.
This is so...
Make this bye official.
So
raise this hand. And put me through to the next round.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Joe, that's just not going to work for us.
I hate this guy. I hate him.
What is it you want, Blampite? What is it you want?
Well, Joe, you wee bam, you seem to have forgotten where exactly it is you are. You are in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. You know what that means? That means no excuses, no shortcuts, no nights off.
I've got a bye! I've got a bye in this tournament!
Oh, no, son. If you want to make it to the quarterfinals in Manchester, you can bet your ass you'll be fighting in Milton Keynes.
Oh, this is a disgrace.
And you know who? I've had to call in a very big favor. I made some calls, I've sent some emails, and we here at WCPW want to extend a sincere gratitude to the company for letting us use him. And to everyone watching, please welcome this man.
He's back!
This is a bombshell. Joseph Connors, former WCPW champion, is back.
Joseph Connors! I am stunned. Everyone here is stunned.
Not least of all, the Iron King Joe Coffey. He believed he had an easy night here in Milton Keynes. Not so.
This is unbelievable. And listen to the ovation for the former champion, Joseph Connors.
Wow. That's all I can say, Dave Bradshaw. I did not see this one coming. Look at the shape that Connors is in.
I'm in shock. We didn't think we were ever going to see Joseph Connors here in WCPW again. As you said, he's a former champion here, lost the title to Drew Galloway in November. Wow. Listen to this.
Goosebumps, Dave Bradshaw. What a bonus this is for everyone watching worldwide.
And what an opportunity for Connors here in a tournament he didn't think he'd ever be able to enter. He's been able to take the spot of Canada's Michael Elgin here in the last 16.
Now, as good as it is to see Joseph Connors, I would be remiss without pointing out that this is simply not fair for Joe Coffey.
Why?
Joe Coffey arrived in this building tonight believing he had a bye. He isn't prepared to wrestle, let alone against someone the caliber of Joseph Connors.
Oh, right, so it would have been fair if all 7 other men in the quarterfinals had to qualify and Joe Coffey just had the night off.
It's not Coffey's responsibility. Michael Elgin was taken out of this tournament, Bradshaw.
No, but it is Adam Blompier's responsibility, and it's a responsibility that he has accomplished very, very well.
Don't remind me about that idiot. Connors, a house of fire here in Milton Keynes. I will say one thing, it's not Joseph Connors' problem. He wants to get into those quarterfinals himself.
Yeah, Connors. And by the way, this is quite the coup for the nation of England as well. That means we have 3 people in this round of 16.
I didn't even think about that.
Canada down to 1.
It's Scotland versus England, right here in Milton Keynes.
Although it has to be said though, oh, look at this, look at the strength. Look at the strength of Connors. That being said, it's not all bad news for Canada because England doesn't have anyone through into the last 8 yet, whereas Canada, of course, already has Speedball Mike Bailey.
Outside the ring now. Oh, there's a big chop from Joe Coffey.
Connors is unloading here. Coffey just trying to get away from him. They're coming up near to us in the entranceway.
There's absolutely no way Joe Coffey could prepare for someone like Joe Connors tonight. No way.
Well, these two do know each other very well. Both of them were in WCPW from its beginnings. Connors is going to the ropes. Coffey's turned his back. That's a mistake. And Coffey gets taken out by the righteous one, Joseph Connors.
We've seen that look before, Bradshaw. Former WCPW champion. He held on to that title ferociously. Cherished it. Could he be a future World Cup winner?
He might be. Connors has recent tournament experience, was part of that WWE UK Championship tournament in January this year. So 1 count only as Coffey gets a way out. Connors also been making waves for the past several years now in New Generation Wrestling, NGW.
South side as well, you name it.
Connors been covered here. And, it could have been a short-lived comeback if Coffey had had his way, but Connors was able to kick out on 2.
What I want to know, Bradshaw, is how did Adam Blampide manage this? How did he pull this off?
Well, he has contacts, clearly.
Oh, I feel as though I need contacts. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Joseph Connors coming back to WCPW.
He sends him hard into the corner, though, and Connors remembering very quickly just how tough the competition is here.
Very, very, very tough. And it doesn't come much tougher than the Iron King, Joe Coffey. Let me assure you of that one.
Coffey qualified for this last 16 by beating Liam Thompson and Kenny Williams in the Scottish qualifiers. Kenny Williams, of course, later getting back into the tournament in a playoff after the other Scottish qualifier, Drew Galloway, had to pull out. So Coffey will believe he's, in some ways, the only true Scottish qualifier. Of course he will, because that's his mindset, isn't it?
The only prestigious one, how about that?
Always got a chip on his shoulder. Connors is trying to stop that, what I think is a German suplex attempt from Coffey, but Coffey overpowering him. Connors with nowhere to go except down. Cover by Coffey on Connors. Again, a kick out.
Still just a 2, and look at Coffey analysing the situation, staring a hole through the back of Connors' head. What next from the Iron King?
Coffey gets dropped jaw on the back of the head of Connors. Connors will leapfrog him as he charges at him in the corner. There's an inverted atomic drop on Scotland's Joe Coffey. I can't believe Joe Connors is here. Joseph
I'm
Connors,
almost speechless.
unbelievable.
I don't know about you, but no one could have guessed this, Bradshaw. No one could have foresaw Joseph Connors coming
Not
back.
in a million years, and he may be staying for another day because he was just a split second away from advancing to the quarterfinals tomorrow night in Manchester.
Well, Joe Coffey, I say this is a disgrace because he should right now be in the back chilling with a nice cold beer. Advanced already to the quarterfinals. Instead, he has to face someone like Joseph Connors.
I've already told you what I think of that logic, but in any case, Connors going for a cover. So don't forget, one of these two men will be part of those quarterfinals tomorrow. And as I said, special start time of 9 p.m. UK time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern in the United States. Tomorrow night, again, free on YouTube on the What Culture Wrestling channel.
All this amazing pro wrestling, all for free.
And of course, we're still not done this week either. The semi-finals and the finals coming up on YouTube this Saturday. What a week.
Breathtaking amount of content here by virtue of What Culture Pro Wrestling.
Dropkick sends Connors down into the corner. Smacked his head into the middle turnbuckle, I think. An avalanche from Coffey there. Coffey. Oh, springboard. Cross body, but Connors uses the momentum to roll himself over, and he nearly took Coffey by surprise.
Well. Oh, here we go.
Roll through victory roll from Connors. This time it's Coffey who counters. Both of these men exchanging one counts repeatedly. Referee must be getting exhausted.
I'm exhausted just watching these guys.
Finally, they both give up that, what I think was a fruitless attempt to try and pin each other.
I will say this, Bradshaw, it's absolutely huge. Oh, wait a minute.
Backside, Connors gets Coffey's shoulders down at a high angle, and Coffey just got out.
Absolutely huge that WWE would allow this to happen. Joseph Connors, coming back to WCPW.
There's the cover from Connors, another 2 count, and you're absolutely right. We do want to thank WWE for allowing Joseph Connors to be a part of this tournament.
It shows how big the Pro Wrestling World Cup is. Let's face it. A man, a talent of this magnitude who is already skyrocketing towards the very top of this industry, back here where it all began.
Connors maybe going to go for that don't look down, his trademark DDT, but instead it's Coffey who's looking for a DDT. Now trying for a suplex. Connors goes behind, pounds him in between the shoulder blades.
Oh, and there again.
To a backbreaker. Rising uppercut from Coffey, who's going to try for a very low angle German suplex, but it was effective nonetheless. Goes for the cover. Connors gets out, but Coffey, I think, is starting to wear down Joseph Connors.
Well, you can see it. Look who is upright here. Joseph Connors flat on his back. Joe Coffey back on his feet. Looking around here at Planet Ice in Milton Keynes. Could this be that the end is nigh? You said it, a short comeback for one Joseph Connors.
Well, Coffey went for the black coffee, that discus lariat. Both men striking each other here. Coffey has the weight advantage, but it's very hard to take a man as determined as Joseph Connors off his feet.
Oh, there we go, connected.
Yeah, he got it. That's got to do it. The black coffee and Connors.
Oh, how disheartening for Joe Coffey to feel Joseph Connors press out of that one.
Well, Joseph Connors looks like he's become even more impressive in his time away.
Well, as I say, Joseph Connors, he's going to the very top in pro wrestling. And what a way to cap off that climb by winning the Pro Wrestling World Cup. It could happen.
Well, Connors, DDT, leaping over the top rope. Connors says he's going for the don't look down. He gets it. Connors with the don't look down on Joe Coffey. Hooks that tree trunk of a leg, and Joseph Connors is in the quarterfinals.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to this match, and advancing to the quarterfinals, Joseph Connors!
Well, 15 minutes ago, we didn't even know he was in in the building. Now he's in the quarterfinals. Joseph Connors will represent England tomorrow night in Manchester.
Don't look down. That move's called. Well, Joseph Connors is only looking forward.
Yeah, well, Connors doesn't have much time to celebrate because look at this. His opponent tomorrow, Hiromu Takahashi in the quarterfinals. We now know 2 of the quarterfinals, and we know that Joseph Connors will be in it against Takahashi. Joe Coffey thought he was in for an easy night, but instead he's leaving here eliminated from the Pro Wrestling World Cup. What a victory.
100% agree with what Joe, I won't repeat his name, Bradshaw, but he was very unhappy. As you say, 15-20 minutes ago, Joe Coffey believed he was through to the quarterfinals, had a bye.
All right, well, coming up next, it will be time for Kushida versus Kenny Williams. Japan versus Scotland. Let's see how both of these men got here. Bushi turns it round.
He's got that arm again.
Again into that lock. The Kimura lock. He calls it the hoverboard lock. The hoverboard lock, the Kimura. Bushi trying to get to the ropes. He can't get there. Kushida with his body weight sat on the head of Bushi. And he taps. Kushida's the winner. Kushida goes to the World Cup finals.
So close there. And here we go.
Oh, into the DDT from Williams.
Around the world.
Will that do it? Yes, it will. Kenny Williams is going to the World Cup finals. Here's a man with a second lease of life in this tournament. He got a chance to go into the last 16, and he took it.
Almost back to the future.
Representing Scotland, he weighs 1.21 gigawatts. This is Kenny Williams!
As I said a few minutes ago, Williams lost to Joe Coffey in the second round of the Scottish qualifiers, but then a vacancy came up to be the second Scottish qualifier, and in a playoff against BT Gunn, Williams was victorious, and against all the odds, that has brought him here tonight.
What a dream scenario for Williams. Facing this man, Kushida. There's similarities between both these men. Kushida is almost the performer that Kenny Williams aspires to be someday.
Kushida, the best of the Super Juniors in 2015 and in 2017. He is making them wait here. A man who is, because of that pedigree in tournament wrestling, another one of the favorites in this last 16.
This is all mind games from Kushida. It
Here
must be.
And representing Japan, he weighs 190 pounds. This is Kushida!
Kushida beat Sho Tanaka and Bushi to advance in those Japanese qualifiers a couple of months ago. He is the 5-time and current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. That is the title belt you see in his hand. Kushida going to take on Kenny Williams. And as you say, 2 men with very much a similar outlook on life.
Absolutely. Stay lucky. Which one will it be? Who will be the most lucky? And who will advance to the quarter-final stage? Kushida almost baffled by what he's seeing. Like looking into a mirror almost.
Kushida getting a very warm round of applause from these hundreds of fans here, well over 1,000 packed into Planet Ice at Milton Keynes.
And look at this, Kenny Williams, he wants to do some posturing and posing of his own.
This is going to be a fascinating dynamic between these two.
You see it on the back of Kenny Williams' jacket there, stay lucky.
So here we go, Kushida and Williams.
Who will Marty McFly their way into the quarterfinals?
Oh God, that was terrible.
That was wonderful. Everyone on YouTube, I encourage you to watch this program again and hear what I just said one more time, because it was simply immaculate.
Feel free to mute it for those few seconds if you want. Anyway, here we go. Kushida is taking his time. Look, just as he took his time to arrive on the stage, he's taking his time to deposit his ring gear there on the turnbuckle. I think he is maybe counting on the fact that Williams will be nervous, but if he is, I think that's a miscalculation. Kenny Williams is a man who has a lot of self-belief.
No one needs to tell me that. I have worked with Kenny Williams in the past. I have almost nurtured this young man, but in the end, there is only so much you can do for a young athlete. You have to let them fly on their own. Kenny Williams always destined to do that. Kenny Williams never needed any guidance. It helped him on his journey, of course, but he was always going to be a star.
Kushida trying to work on that left arm. We saw Kushida last night in action at Stacked on iPay-per-view against Travis Banks.
What a match that was.
And he beat him with one of the most, well, Kushida beat Banks, I should say, with one of the most vicious Kimura locks I've ever seen.
Very much the feeling out process here for Kushida and Kenny Williams. It's all mind games again. We've already seen that earlier on from Takahashi. The experience factor. Will it work on Kenny Williams here? Will it get inside his head?
Well, that is exactly what separates great wrestlers from good wrestlers. You know, it's a mental game as well as a physical one. And by the time we're at this stage in the tournament, the standard is so high that everyone here knows they need to not just focus on that physical strategy, but also on the psychology as well.
Well, think about in football, soccer, when it gets to this, the last 16 of the Football World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. You're right, it's all psychology.
Well, you wouldn't know. I don't think Scotland's ever been there.
Well, I'm counting Kenny Williams to give us something to cheer about.
Sorry, that was cheap. I apologise.
That's okay, as long as none of these matches go to penalty kicks. England knows a little something about that, don't they?
All right.
Anyway, on with the wrestling.
Kushida on top of Williams here. Side head up takedown. Williams the head scissors quickly. And both of these guys making sure they don't get caught early on. Or they've caught each other now.
There we go, the similarities coming into play already. They're gently putting one another's leg on the canvas.
Both trying a drop kick, both men up. It was like a mirror image.
Again, Kenny Williams always mentioned Kushida, always said his name, would sing his praises time and time again, looked up to the Japanese warrior, recognizing what Kushida could do inside the ring. Now Williams is feeling it.
Yeah, Williams sent to the ropes, a shoulder block from Kushida, leg sweep. And this representative of Scotland, he's the only representative of Scotland left now that Joe Coffey is out, of course.
Again, very unfair.
Cover from Williams and a 2.
Nonetheless, Joseph Connors advances. Kenny Williams, Scotland's last hope in the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
You know, it is still entirely possible that 3 of the last 8 could be English.
Well, you raise a valid point. No one could see Joseph Connors coming, though, that's for sure.
Well, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay are going to try and make it through that last 8 a little later on. Look at that from Kushida in mid-air, grabbing the armbar.
Super slick.
Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable from...
He's got that locked in, though.
Yeah, trying to hyperextend, and Williams goes for the smart way out. If you push Kushida's shoulders to the mat, the only way to break up the pin is to release the hold.
Trying to get the sunset flip. Oh! A little bit of showboating there from Kushida.
Oh! Kimura, this is how we beat Travis Banks yesterday, and Williams knew it. Scrambled to the bottom rope as fast as he humanly could.
Smartly separating that hold before he found his arm separated from the socket.
Kushida, again, taking Williams down by the arm, and look how he is bending that elbow backwards, that pressure on the hand as well as the elbow, absolutely excruciating. Stamps on it as well.
Oh.
Stamps with the other leg, but the vibrations that sends through the arm of Kenny Williams from that position, again, absolutely horrendous.
Oh, unbelievable stuff. Stretching Kenny Williams inside and out.
A double underhook. As he's arching backwards is Kushida. Williams able to float over onto a pin.
Down again goes Williams.
Kushida.
He's still feeling that arm though, Dave Bradshaw.
Williams being picked up by Kushida. And Williams backed into the corner. This one starting to head in the direction of Kushida, I think.
Well, no disrespect to Kenny Williams, but a lot of people probably predicted that Kushida would dominate the majority of this match, but it's not over until it's over.
And we talked about underdogs earlier on in the case of the Lucky Kid from Germany, and he surprised everyone. He nearly, very, very nearly, pulled off an upset and made it to the quarterfinals. So,
well, this would be an upset, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but you underestimate any of these last 16 at your peril.
Kenny Williams has had a fire in the pit of his stomach since day one. He was born to be a professional wrestler.
And Williams wisely rolling to the outside as he needs to regroup here. I think he needs to think how to adapt his strategy, because whatever he's doing at the moment clearly is not really working. Kushida's been on top here for several minutes. Williams knows, but there's a few people booing in the crowd. I don't know why. I think that's smarts from Williams.
Very clever. Has to create some distance between himself and Kushida here. While Kushida was earning a name for himself in his native Japan, Kenny Williams, a product of the PBW Wrestling Academy in Scotland, one of the finest in the country. He rose to the top of that academy very quickly.
Williams diving in, and eventually, by making Kushida wait for so long, by escaping him, eluding him so often, Kushida made a mistake. Williams took advantage. Williams, between the top and middle ropes, takes out Kushida.
He almost just glanced him there, Bradshaw. I'm not sure he got all of that one.
Yeah, well, some people might not have liked the strategy, but it's worked, because look, Williams has found a way to get back on top here.
He's back on the offensive.
Kushida, or at least he was, because Kushida with the handstand and the heels into the face of Williams. Williams now in danger of falling off that top turnbuckle.
This is where Kenny Williams doesn't want to be, because Kushida, he can do anything inside that ring. Any situation, it favours him. Kenny Williams, he needs to maybe create some distance again.
These two are high up and face to face as they smash each other in the face. There's a Kimura from Kushida.
Back to that arm.
And again, though, Williams knew that he only had a matter of seconds to get out of that before the damage was done, so he went for the headbutt. Here comes Williams from the top rope. Kenny Williams of Scotland, the elbow.
Picture perfect.
Into the chest of Kushida, the cover for the upset. And Kushida gets the right shoulder up.
Few in Scotland fly with the grace of Kenny Williams.
Kenny Williams starting to feel as though this one might be within his reach after all.
You see it there on his tights, on his trousers, the lucky yin. Of course, yin is almost a colloquialism for one.
Well, hang on now. Kushida again trying to bend the arm backwards into the Kimura again, and this time, given the position of Williams' body, there is no way for him to escape. Williams in trouble. Kushida marching around the ring, changing his position because he wants to roll through. Bends that arm backwards. Williams has nowhere to go.
That arm could be broken in a matter of seconds.
He's trying to wriggle to the ropes. If he can get there, then the match can continue, but otherwise, I don't see how this goes on. Oh, his hand went under the bottom rope. It was under the bottom rope. That is a good call from referee Joel Allen. Under the rope is as good as grabbing it, and the referee insisted on the break.
It annoyed Kushida, though, you can see that. He didn't agree with the decision, but nonetheless, Kenny Williams did anything he could to get out of that submission.
Kick to the back of the head and then to the back from Kushida to Williams. Williams grabs the leg, buys himself some time. Kushida, though, with the discus forearm, and Williams fights back. Boot to the face. There's a Pele kick from Kushida. Williams unloads with the clothesline.
The sweat goes flying. Kenny Williams put everything he had into that.
Huge clothesline. Is that the last bit of energy that Kenny Williams has here, or can he capitalise?
Well, he's going to have to if he has any hope in hell of getting to the quarter-final stage, advancing in the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Kushida to his feet, Williams as well. Williams charges first. Kushida catches him, he lured him in. And he goes face first, does Williams, into that middle turnbuckle.
Nasty landing for Williams, and Kushida, look, he's lucid, he's awake, he's ready. Ready to pounce and strike again.
What's he doing here, rolling through? He's got him up. Kushida trying for the Back to the Future, that small package driver. In the end, he gets a DDT.
He rolls right through.
Kushida will try. Oh, counter, Williams, small package to surprise Kushida, and it's 2.5.
Oh, nearly surprised us all.
Williams absolutely smashes the face of Kushida down into the canvas. Williams with the high knees.
He's going for the cover again if he can get it.
The cover by Kenny Williams, and the right shoulder up. Kushida hangs in there.
Now, isn't that amazing that you're saying that, Dave Bradshaw, considering what was happening in this match? Mere moments ago, Kenny Williams quite literally on the ropes, struggling to escape brutal submissions. Now the young Scot is in charge.
That ability to bounce back is what got Williams a second chance at being in this tournament in the first place. We're seeing just how resilient he is here. But he's caught! There's the Back to the Future from Kushida, and Kushida takes it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest and advancing to tomorrow's quarterfinals,
Kushida heads to the quarterfinals tomorrow in Manchester. But credit to Kenny Williams, he gave that Japanese sensation all he could handle and more.
100%, he really gave everything he had, Kenny Williams. But Kushida advances, and this is huge, Dave Bradshaw. He advances to the quarterfinals, and look at this.
He is going to face the winner of Jay Lethal and Zack Sabre Jr. Either way, that is a blockbuster of a match tomorrow night in Manchester.
Look at some of the matches we have lined up for tomorrow night. Of course, free on YouTube.
Kushida is grabbing his attire, looking over to his beaten opponent, Kenny Williams.
Well, what's this now? Kushida.
I think he's given some respect to Kenny Williams. They obviously have a shared interest in Back to the Future.
I wonder here, Kushida almost, he's holding that body warmer. It's almost like he's going to present it to Kenny Williams as a peace offering, as a gift.
And that is quite the gesture. Kenny Williams.
That's a nice denim jacket too.
Is a bona fide Marty McFly.
Well, there we go. Kenny Williams maybe eliminated from the Pro Wrestling World Cup, but he has something to leave Milton Keynes with. Pride, if nothing else.
What is this from Williams now? Undoing those futuristic trainers.
High tops there.
And handing them to Kushida. It's a clothes swap.
Well, you know, you see all sorts of things in what culture pro wrestling, especially at the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
These two, now the hostilities are over, are very much...
Kenny Williams wanting the championship titles there.
Yeah, it's the IWGP belt and the Ring of Honor belt I didn't mention earlier, by the way, that Kushida has as well. Great victory for Kushida and great sportsmanship. Right now, though, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jay Lethal. That is coming up next. And as we said, the winner of that will be the person who faces Kushida. So we are not going to have to wait very long at all to find out who Kushida's opponent will be in the quarterfinals. Right now, let's see how Sabre Jr. and Lethal made it to Milton Keynes. Going to go for the lethal injection. He gets it. Lethal injection. Is he going to the World Cup finals? No, he's not. Not yet.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, the figure four. And is he going to look at the power to turn it over, but he couldn't couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
Jay Lethal clubbing away at that injured leg.
He had to tap. He had to tap. David Starr had no choice.
And now hyperextension of the arm. If he could turn the thumb, nope, the Havoc was able to roll away from the pressure, but Zack Sabre Jr., a submission specialist.
Havoc, you see, trying to move his legs towards the bottom rope, but bending the fingers now as well is Sabre.
Oh, wow.
Look how he's got him tied up.
God bless Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, my God. Havoc.
That's it.
Havoc
He quit.
submits.
He quit.
But what else can you do? What else can you do when Zack Sabre Jr. has you tied in knots? This is going to be something very, very special.
You talk about a pro wrestling showcase, it's what the Pro Wrestling World Cup's all about. This is the perfect example.
We are about to meet the technical wizard, quite possibly the best pro wrestler of his generation, Zack Sabre Jr. Well, make no mistake about it, despite what our ring announcer just said there, he's not representing the United Kingdom, Mr. Kennedy. He is representing my country of England, and I'm very proud to have him.
Well, unfortunately for my home nation of Scotland, they are out. England remain, and Zack Sabre Jr., a very proud Englishman. He may have worked with ring announcer Steve Linsky for that little faux pas.
I hadn't thought of that. Kenny Williams eliminated, of course. There are no Scottish representatives left.
No Welsh either. Flash Morgan Webster never made it past the qualifying round.
Joseph Connor's already in the quarterfinals for England. Will Zack Sabre Jr. make it 2 out of 2?
He's going to have to pull a performance out of somewhere against this man. One of the greatest world champions in Ring of Honor history.
As you said, one of the great champions in Ring of Honor history, the longest reigning Ring of Honor TV champion of all time, and we saw just how great Jay Lethal is yesterday on Stacked on iPay-per-view. Lethal won a 3-man elimination match against Angelico and Drake, and then, having done that, stood in for an injured Jay Briscoe to team with Mark Briscoe against the War Machine.
Now the question you and I had, Dave Bradshaw, 24 hours ago at Stacked, was that the right decision to involve himself against War Machine? Yes, he wanted to help out a friend. Yes, he's a fierce competitor. No one could say any different about Jay Lethal. However, Zack Sabre Jr. was awaiting him tonight at the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Only time will tell if that second match at Stacked will catch up with Lethal.
We will see. If you were watching earlier on, you know just how physical any match is.
Everyone was arriving here to Planet Ice in Milton Keynes, a buzz for the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Yes, there were so many people excited for Will Ospreay versus Rey Mysterio. However, James R. Kennedy happened to overhear several fans saying that they came exclusively to see Jay Lethal lock horns with Zack Sabre Jr. This match means a lot to an awful lot of people. Most of all, it means the World Cup to these men.
Zack Sabre Jr. was one of the first 2 men to qualify for these finals, this last 16, I should say. Won his spot in the English qualifiers, beating 2 of his longest tenured friends, I guess, and partners, but sometimes rivals, Marty Scurll and Jimmy Havoc in the English qualifiers.
Perhaps is not a better technical wrestler left in the World Cup than Zack Sabre Jr. He's one of a kind in that regard.
Never mind the World Cup, the world, I think. In the case of Zack Sabre Jr., he is an absolute phenomenon. Well, as we've been saying all night, we still want to know who you think is going to advance and who, on the evidence of tonight, you think is going to win this whole tournament. Join the conversation on social media using the hashtag Pro Wrestling World Cup and let us know what you think.
Don't forget as well, Sabre Jr. defeated none other than Marty, Scurll and Jimmy Havoc to get here in the first place. Now that's not easy. Easier said than done, certainly when it comes to men that caliber.
We've talked all night about the various experiences that these members of the last 16 have had in tournament wrestling. Well, Zack Sabre Jr. is right up there with the most experienced of them all. In fact, just recently, in this past month, he took part in his first ever G1 Climax tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and what a debut it was for him. Picked up 5 wins and 4 losses. One of those 5 wins, by the way, was against the legendary Hiroshi Tanahashi.
That's something else. Something else, almost another level from Zack Sabre Jr. Long respected in England and the rest of the United Kingdom. Long respected in Japan as well, and there's a reason why. Look at this, the transitions, so slick.
Sabre Jr. was also part of that tremendous WWE Cruiserweight Classic last year, made the semi-finals of that. So again, he has shown time and time again his pedigree when it comes to this sort of tournament competition.
Jay Lethal, no slouch in his own right.
They are right down the middle here in Milton Keynes between Jay Lethal and Zack Sabre Jr. The atmosphere here is absolutely electric.
Oh, it really is. People have loved this World Cup concept from the start.
Sabre Jr., look how he bridges backwards, keeps his shoulders off the mat, increases the pressure on Lethal's legs.
Well, the qualifiers of the Pro Wrestling World Cup, they were phenomenal, Dave Bradshaw, but you sense here tonight that the stakes are higher than ever before. Only natural, because now people sense when you start getting into that round of 16, the quarter-final stage, you start to believe that you can get your hands on the prize.
And what a prize it is. There may be more Pro Wrestling World Cups in the future, but there can only be one first winner of it.
Oh, the bragging rights will be phenomenal.
Not just bragging rights, a place in history. That is what is at stake in the course of this week. Tonight in Milton Keynes. Tomorrow, the quarterfinals in Manchester. Saturday, the finals, or semi-finals and finals in Newcastle. All of it free on YouTube, courtesy of What Culture Wrestling. Sabre Jr. goes underneath, grabs the leg. Unreal.
Look at that. That is precision at its very best from Sabre. Sabre Jr. He's just there isn't enough praise you can shower on this man. He's a world-class performer. Even Jay Lethal is finding that out firsthand here in Milton Keynes.
Lethal caught in the bow and arrow from Sabre Jr. You see him wrenching the neck backwards. Also got those legs tied up, forcing those feet to stay on the ground. Lethal able to power out and leap on top for the lateral press. Sabre Jr. into the half crab. And the thing with Sabre Jr., the thing he does differently and better than most other wrestlers is the way he not only applies a move like a half crab, but does everything else he can. He twists the ankle, changes the angle, so he puts more taut on the lower back. It is absolutely remarkable the levels on which he is thinking simultaneously about how he can inflict pain on his opponents.
Well, the great William Regal was once described as a man who wasted absolutely no movement inside the ring. Zack Sabre Jr. is a chip off the old block. In that respect, he is exactly the same.
You can see influences of the likes of William Regal, and certainly Zack Sabre Jr. is very well aware of the heritage of British wrestling, of those who came before him. There's definite world of sport influences in his style, but there's influences of so much. Zack Sabre Jr. was, as a young boy, was more interested in watching Japanese wrestling than he was American wrestling. He's always been a fan of that style, and you see that in here as well. There are very few men who can transition between different genres of the mat game like Zack Sabre Jr.
It's incredible. It's something to behold. And Jay Lethal struggling to get to hold with it, get to grips with it rather. But there we go. That's the commentator's curse, Bradshaw.
I don't think Jay Lethal is going to struggle like most people, because Jay Lethal, for his part, as we said, one of the absolute best on the planet, as well as his experiences in Ring of Honor, which we talked about. He's a 6-time TNA X Division champion, And just look at his performance in the USA qualifiers. He beat Moose and David Starr, both of those grueling matches to get here. Jay Lethal, if there's one man who could take Zack Sabre Jr. to the limit and quite possibly defeat him, it would not be a surprise, in my view, if Jay Lethal pulled this off.
Well, in the match against Moose, Jay Lethal did not have the size advantage. I would have to say, looking at both these men, Lethal and Sabre Jr., yes, Sabre Jr. is the taller man, but Jay Lethal, the thicker, more muscular athlete. So you'd have to give that advantage to him in this one.
Again, Lethal's, he's not just a powerhouse. He's another one who's very much an all-rounder. In that way, he is
deceptively quick as well.
Oh, absolutely, and that is exactly why he's such a good match here for Zack Sabre Jr. As you see him going for those repeated pins. Sabre Jr. so keen is the style he employs to keep his shoulders off the mat where he can, and Lethal forcing them down there, forcing Sabre Jr. to kick out of those predicaments time and again.
Almost a carnival-like atmosphere here in Milton Keynes. The people of the United Kingdom have been given a little treat here, a huge treat with the entire Pro Wrestling World Cup. But what a night of action!
We have fans here from all over the world watching some of the best in the world. That backbreaker from Lethal has done some damage to Sabre. You see Sabre has wrapped himself up in the bottom rope. He may even, he's going to go to the outside, I think, and that is a sign that Lethal has done some damage. He stayed on the apron, but look at the pain etched across the face of Sabre Jr.
Still holding that back. Oh.
Sabre.
Oh, that's all it takes, though. One moment of opportunity. Open a window for Sabre Jr.
Yeah, he can't get the submission there. Obviously, he's in the ropes. Referee demanding the break.
The damage may well be done, though.
He knows he has 5 seconds to break it. Took advantage of as much of that as he could. Chop from Lethal, though. Sends Sabre to the outside. Sabre gets up, but Lethal knew he was going to do it. Took out the ankle of Sabre Jr.
Look at this.
Lethal again pushes him away. Lethal not prepared to be denied here, but Sabre Jr. has crawled back in. Ducks him, and a super kick from Lethal.
Huge super kick, jaw-jarring.
Jay Lethal going for the lethal injection.
Oh, right to the arm.
And he got hurt there to Lethal. You see Lethal, much like Sabre Jr. almost did a minute ago, immediately rolling to the outside. He knew he's in trouble.
He's still rolling around in agony before our very eyes in the aisleway.
He may have broken his arm. He actually may have broken his arm. Look at the way he is holding that arm.
That's a sure sign as well. The kicking of the legs, writhing around. He's still doing it too, Bradshaw. This is dangerous for Jay Lethal.
Lethal not want to show pain when there's an opponent lingering nearby, but he's didn't have any choice there.
And I don't believe that Zack Sabre Jr. would be happy with himself as an athlete to win this one by count out. If you notice, he was the one who left the ring and rolled Jay Lethal back inside it.
Yeah, that is true, but I think he knows that Lethal was never going to allow himself to be counted out either. So if you're going to know the match is going to continue, you may as well strike while the iron is hot and get him back in there as soon as possible.
Which way does this match twist and turn next?
I don't know which way Jay Lethal's arm twists and turns next. Look at that.
I'm surprised it's still attached at this point.
Zack Sabre Jr., young man from the Isle of Sheppey in Kent. Again, going to bend the arm and using his shin to press into the back of the skull.
Exposing the elbow there as well.
And that's why. And twist the elbow round.
Everything Sabre Jr. does has meaning, purpose.
Do some damage to what is already a fragile part of the human anatomy, the elbow.
Jay Lethal in serious trouble here. Serious trouble. He's still, I mean, that arm, he's not holding it up, Bradshaw. It's hanging down by his side.
He's clearly trying to continue despite the damage that's very obviously been done.
And think of this as well. If Jay Lethal does manage to progress past Sabre Jr. here, that arm for the rest of the Pro Wrestling World Cup has to be a massive target.
Yeah, this is another one of those instances where you think that whoever wins this does have to think not just about this match, but how they are going to handle that quarter-final match tomorrow in Manchester against Kushida.
Kushida, yes, he is waiting for the winner of this one.
Especially in Lethal's case, we've seen what Kushida can do to someone's left arm with that Kimura lock.
Oh, that's right. That's a very, very good point, and he will be licking his lips in anticipation. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, Sabre Jr.
Just systematically taking Jay Lethal apart piece by piece.
Octopus hold by Zack Sabre Jr. There's a chop across the chest from Lethal. Lethal fighting back.
Oh, there's the arm again, though. It's going to be Lethal's undoing in this match. It has to be. That limb cannot take more punishment. It simply cannot.
I said at the start that Zack Sabre Jr. would focus on any vulnerabilities and circle in like a shark, and that is exactly what he is doing on this left arm of Lethal.
Oh, again, like a shark smelling blood. This isn't personal from Sabre Jr. I wouldn't hesitate to say that, but it's all business. He wants to advance to the quarterfinals. Oh, look at that.
Lethal.
Your arm's not supposed to bend that way.
Into the wrist lock from Sabre Jr. You can hear Lethal is shouting out in pain, trying to relieve the pressure, trying to punch. And Sabre, so tenacious, holding on. Try for an arm drag in Lethal.
Just wrenching the fingers back, causing the wrist and the rest of the arm to spasm violently.
Lethal is really struggling to find a way out of this.
Has to be adrenaline at this point. He must have lost all feeling apart from pain in that left arm.
Well, imagine when the adrenaline wears off, what that's going to feel like back in the locker room or back in the hotel room later tonight. That's an unbelievable agony, I'm sure. But in the meantime, Lethal trying to fight back. There's the drop kick off the turnbuckle.
Sabre hit that steel barricade at ringside hard. Came down on his back and ribs.
Lethal into Sabre Jr. Both of them go into the crowd barrier.
Look at this, trying to get some feeling back into those limbs.
Big clothesline from Lethal. Got to his first to the punch, not once but twice.
Oh,
Sabre fighting back. And there's a lethal combination.
Out of nowhere too.
The cover. He may have knocked Sabre Jr. out, and he hasn't. It was close. It was very close.
Well, it just shows you the resiliency of someone like Jay Lethal. The punishment he's taken to be able to hit the lethal combination almost came up trumps for him.
Lethal looking to press home that advantage. Grabs the, there's a shin breaker. Second one. Smashes him down. Sit out, powerbomb. 2 count only.
That was all the strength of Lethal's legs there. That left arm is finished at this point. You can see the desperate look. He acknowledges that arm is finished.
So Lethal trying to basically fight with one arm. And maybe we're going to see a tribute to the Nature Boy.
Oh no, we're not.
Sabre won't allow it. Sabre won't allow it. He's going for that Article 50, the cross arm breaker.
He locks it in, forget about it.
Sabre with the headstand. He's got his legs wrapped around the head of Jay Lethal. Lethal's going to pass out here. Lethal's going to pass out, but his foot's on the ropes. His feet are on the ropes.
Great ring awareness from Jay Lethal. That was all he could do to break that submission.
But is he conscious? Is he even conscious?
Well, at this point, who knows? The pain may have taken its toll on Lethal. He may have passed out.
All right, well, he's moving now, but I wasn't sure for a minute there that Lethal was even still aware of his surroundings after that hold from Sabre Jr.
What a wrestling match here in Milton Keynes. 2 world-class athletes.
Just everything it promised to be and more.
This is why there were so many people who travelled here to England just to watch this one match.
Sabre Jr. still focusing on that left arm of Lethal.
Every strike, be it punch, be it kick, everything is aimed at that left arm.
And using the right arm with Lethal, the forearm. Sabre hits back with a kick. Full Nelson. And Lethal will go behind. Lethal going to try and pick him up into a brainbuster. Sabre wrenches the arm into an overhead kick, sweeps the leg. And Sabre Jr. with a PK, the penalty kick on Lethal. Sabre, will he go through on penalties? No.
And if you noticed, Zack Sabre Jr. pressed all his weight down on that left arm, knowing that it would be harder for Jay Lethal to kick out, but kick out he did.
As you said earlier, an Englishman never wins in the World Cup on penalty kicks, but Sabre Jr. came as close as anyone has.
Almost. Good save by Lethal though.
Lethal still in trouble. Sabre is again first to his feet. Once again the crowd split down the middle here.
Oh, right to that upper arm, time and time again. What is it going to take? I mean,
Lethal's removed his own elbow pad.
At some point, the swelling of the injuries on Jay Lethal's left arm are going to cause some serious problems.
Leg wrench. The dragon screw from Jay Lethal. Tries for the figure four again. A counter from Sabre Jr. That small package with the shoulders down was nearly enough to put out Lethal. The European uppercut from Zack Sabre Jr.
Jay Lethal, he would have fallen over had the turnbuckle not held him aloft.
And the turnbuckle wasn't his friend there, he ran into it. Lethal, the torture rack.
Oh, down on the ribs. Those same ribs which collided with that security barrier earlier on.
And now, are we going to see it from Jay Lethal? A tribute to one of the best of all time, but he's caught! He's caught! The cross-arm breaker again! Lethal trying to hold on! Lethal trying to hold on! If that arm goes straight, Lethal is doomed here! Oh, Lethal got out! Lethal got out! Oh! Figure four! Figure four leg lock! Zack Sabre Jr. is not within reaching distance of the ropes!
He's in no man's land. Sabre Jr. is in real danger here of being eliminated from the Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Look how Lethal is hugging and twisting that ankle to put even more pressure on to Zack Sabre Jr. It's all Sabre can do to keep his shoulders off the mat, let alone try and find a way out of this.
Lethal may not be able to clasp those hands and arms around that limb for long. His left shoulder must be killing him.
And Sabre is able to reverse it, and then both men go into the ropes.
Was that a last-ditch attempt from Jay Lethal to progress to the World Cup quarterfinals?
I'm not sure if I'd call it last-ditch, because I think Lethal may now have evened the odds. If Lethal's left arm is in trouble, then Zack Sabre Jr.'s left leg maybe. He was in that figure four for a long time.
Live crowd loving what they're seeing. Who can blame them?
Who wouldn't love this? This has been stunning.
To think that this has been broadcast around the globe for free, Dave Bradshaw on YouTube, it's incredible.
That's not something you can comprehend, is it? Actually doing something nice for people.
Well, you know, I wouldn't take credit for it personally.
You would be charging people money if you had a choice.
For a match like this, are you kidding? It'd be worth every penny.
Lethal kick to the thigh of Sabre Jr. Sabre replies with a kick to the shoulder.
Look at this. Jay Lethal cannot take his right hand off that left arm. It's almost supporting the weight of it at this point.
But look, I think Sabre is limping.
He will be. That figure four was locked in tight.
You see, they're both focusing on the parts of the opponent's body that they realise are injured. Sabre kicking the arm, Lethal kicking the leg.
Jay Lethal trying to cut Sabre Jr. down to size. Oh!
Got him. Boot to the face and the enziguri. Sabre Jr. is down on his hands and knees here.
Lethal needs the support of this crowd. Wait a minute.
Oh! Lethal tried to pick him up. Sabre Jr.
Back to the leg though.
Yeah. Knew that was a weakness and he got him. He got him. Face first into the mat. Lethal will try and end it. The lethal injection. Can he nail it? No! Oh God! Oh God! The cross arm breaker again! The cross arm breaker again! Sabre Jr. He's transitioned. Sabre Jr. transitions the submission. Lethal has nowhere to go. Lethal nowhere to go. And he taps. He taps. He taps. He taps.
Ladies and gentlemen, contest, and advancing to the quarterfinals,
Every single person in this arena is on their feet. What a match! What a match! Unbelievable stuff between two of the best in the world, but it is Zack Sabre Jr. who is going to Manchester and to the quarterfinals.
Look at what it means to Zack Sabre Jr. And listen, I'm going to shut up for a second. I don't often say that. Listen to this response.
They are chanting his name. It is echoing around planet Ice in Milton Keynes.
You know what that means, Bradshaw.
Oh, I would never forget. Zack Sabre Jr. now goes on to face Kushida. Kushida and Zack Sabre Jr. complete the third of 4 quarter-final matches tomorrow night in Manchester.
Some of those matches are ridiculous, Bradshaw. To think this is happening tomorrow night, 24 hours almost from now, free on YouTube, are you kidding me? For now though, Zack Sabre Jr. must be reveling in an incredible victory over Jay Lethal. Look, Lethal inside the ring, still clutching that left arm, falls to his knees.
Yeah, Lethal can't believe that after such a titanic effort, it was not enough to put away Zack Sabre Jr., who has proven here exactly why he is one of the best in the world. Well, who can follow that? Very few people in this world, but here's two who can. Rey Mysterio and Will Ospreay. Mysterio up top. Rey Mysterio dives. A front splash of his own.
Leg hooked.
Both legs hooked.
He got him!
Look how quickly Rey Mysterio turned the tide.
Now let's be Priestley. Be Priestley.
That's Will Ospreay's girlfriend.
Don't do that. Oh no. Using the title belt. Ospreay for the Ozcutter. Nailed it on Rampage. Ospreay to go to the finals. Ospreay wins with the help of B. Priestley. Go. It is time for this evening's main event. We know the identity of 7 of the 8 and qualifiers to go through to the quarterfinals tomorrow night in Manchester. The reason we are hesitating here slightly is the ropes are being tightened behind us because these two men, they want to use the ropes, they want to use the turnbuckles, every part of the ring to their advantage. I'm talking about, of course, the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, and the legendary Rey Mysterio.
Will Ospreay must have grown up as a young man watching Rey Mysterio, watching from afar, admiring everything that Rey Mysterio did in pro wrestling, moments away from seeing what Will Ospreay can do against the great Rey Mysterio. Here we go, Bradshaw, the one everyone's been waiting on.
What a night it has been, and the aerial assassin.
The following is the Pro Wrestling World Cup Round of 16 match, scheduled for one fall. Representing England, this is Will Ospreay!
What is there left to be said about Will Ospreay? Quite simply, the talk of the wrestling world. Over these past couple of years, Will Ospreay has done things in midair that you simply would not believe a human being can do. He has revolutionized professional wrestling in many, many ways, alongside the likes of Ricochet and all those other guys who are part of this incredible generation of talent. Ospreay, here in Milton Keynes, looking to become the 8th and final man in the World Cup quarterfinals.
Listen to the electric atmosphere in Milton Keynes when an athlete like Will Ospreay enters the scene.
are in the presence of a legend. Goosebumps doesn't cover it. Rey Mysterio is here.
Can you imagine how Will Ospreay feels right now? The Pro Wrestling World Cup would mean everything to Ospreay. Everything. Everything. The quarterfinals awaits for one of these two men. Could it be the aerial assassin, or will it be the master? That is Rey Mysterio.
He was a 3-time world champion in WWE, a 2-time Intercontinental champion, the Royal Rumble winner in 2006. That's before you get into all his tag title reigns, his cruiserweight title reigns in WCW, everything he's done in Mexico. Rey Mysterio is as close to a living legend as you can possibly get.
And look at this, the emotion overwhelming for Ospreay. As I referenced earlier on, Rey Mysterio, a hero to millions around the globe. There's only one that matters right now, and that's the man standing across the ring from him, and that is the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. This is one of the biggest matches in Ospreay's career.
Oh, undoubtedly. Listen to this. The crowd, perhaps because we are in England, are supporting Will Ospreay. Or are they?
Well, that changed in mid-air. That's incredible. What an atmosphere.
This is absolutely tremendous.
Planet Ice or not, the atmosphere is red hot in Milton Keynes.
Collar and elbow tie-up between Ospreay and the man he idolized as he grew up training to be a pro wrestler. First a backyarder, then he was trained in the art of professional wrestling, and now he finds himself in the ring against Rey Mysterio. For Will Ospreay, this could almost be a dream.
Yeah, we're busy talking about Will Ospreay and what this means to him, but for Rey Mysterio, a quarter-final slot in the Pro Wrestling World Cup awaits. That'll mean everything to Rey as well. He doesn't want to just come here and put on an exhibition. He wants to advance in this tournament.
Yeah, you know, I get the impression with Rey Mysterio that the sort of the title of veteran, the title of being kind of the old guy in the room, has never sat comfortably with him. Rey Mysterio is absolutely a man who can still go, and he intends to prove it here.
He's always been the underdog, though, and it has to do with the small stature. It has to do with the fact that almost everyone he has come up against has been physically larger. So to be the veteran, even the older, more experienced man, he's still the smaller of the two between Mysterio and Will Ospreay. There's no denying that.
Yeah, he proved his point in Mysterio in qualifying for this round of 16. He beat Alberto El Patron and Juventud Guerrera, both of them obviously world-class competitors in their own right.
Well, how ironic. Mysterio had history with El Patron and Guerrera, but Will Ospreay could make history tonight, and look at this.
Ospreay and Mysterio already lighting it up.
It's like a powder keg, it's just waiting to explode.
Already looking like it could do as the handstand sends Ospreay back to his feet.
Oh, down hard.
Mysterio takes down Ospreay. No, he doesn't. Again, the handstand. This is reminiscent of what Mysterio experienced against Ricochet yesterday at Stack.
Listen to this.
Everybody is on their feet. This is wild.
It's crazy. It's unbelievable to see live in living color. This is what WCPW, this is what professional wrestling is all about. This is why. The next best thing's YouTube if you can't be here live. This is why you should buy a ticket and you should be here in person.
The challenge here for Ospreay, in my mind, as I was coming here today, was that given how much of a hero Rey Mysterio has been to him, is not to get starstruck. Ospreay needs to appreciate that he has every right to be in there with Rey Mysterio. I'm sure he will. Ospreay is showing no signs of lacking that trademark self-confidence.
It's going to be killer instinct. At some point, the respect and, you know, all the showmanship and the mutual admiration society has to fly out the window. There's a match to win. At the end of the day, there's so much at stake here.
Ospreay got sent to the outside. Mysterio sends him down. And that is a dangerous place to be when you're in there against the man from San Diego. Rey Mysterio slides on his belly to hit a big splash on Ospreay.
Well, that's a first for me, Bradshaw. I don't think I've ever seen that in person before.
Rey Mysterio.
Not sure Will Ospreay has either.
Mysterio trying to show here that he is still the master and Ospreay is still the apprentice. Springboard, leg drop. Cover. Mysterio, leg hooked, 2 count.
And notice how Rey Mysterio, he throws all his weight across the solar plexus of Will Ospreay every time he's trying to cover him here. He's a very small man, obviously, but he will do everything it takes. He knows all the tricks of the trade. He's been around. He will do everything it takes. And yet again, this crowd taking over Dave Bradshaw. What an atmosphere.
Mysterio, though, not in any way being cowed by this positive reaction for Ospreay. There's been some support for Rey as well. And Mysterio! Baseball slide, that was right between the legs.
Right to the aerial assassins.
Obviously a low blow is illegal, I think. Referee Joel Allen
to the back of the leg, yes.
It was, and I think that is a good call.
I didn't spot that from our vantage point, but that's why referee Joel Allen is in there and not us. The eagle eye for details.
And Mysterio knew what he was doing there. Mysterio is clearly no fool. He wouldn't do anything that would get himself disqualified. Ospreay trying to use some strength and some balance here with Mysterio on his shoulders. That takes some power.
Great leg strength.
Ospreay gets rolled up. And Mysterio, winner of this one, of course, going to face Speedball Mike Bailey of Canada tomorrow night in Manchester. Bailey was the first man to qualify for the quarterfinals tonight. He is the last to find out who his opponent will be.
And it's a difficult one for Speedball because who do you want? Rey Mysterio or Will Ospreay?
That's not the best of choices to have to make, is it? Because either man is going to be an epic challenge for Bailey. Oh, forearm from Mysterio. Ospreay sent back into the middle of the ring. Again the springboard. Ospreay, the drop kick, plucks Mysterio out of midair.
It was perfect. Perfectly placed. Great timing from Ospreay.
Ospreay holds the arm down. Mysterio wriggles free.
Ospreay now, where does he go next here?
Ospreay gaining in confidence. Every moment this goes on while he has the upper hand against Mysterio. Drops him, slams him down. That's obviously to put him in position. What's this going to be? Leaps over the top. Senton splash. Cover. It's him wrapped up for a 2 count.
And Ospreay tried something different there, putting all his body weight across the legs of Rey Mysterio, hoping that the legend wouldn't be able to kick out, but kick out he did. It's going to take a lot to beat either one of these two men, isn't it? It's at the end of the day, we can sit here and we can talk about these near falls. It's going to take a hell of a lot.
It is. I mean, I mentioned Ospreay's confidence a moment ago. Let's not forget Rey Mysterio's as well, because Mysterio had a big win against someone who is synonymous with Will Ospreay in King Ricochet last night at Stacked. And he knows, I think that has just redoubled in Mysterio's mind his self-belief that he is able to hang with this new generation.
No doubt, but look at this. Will Ospreay has Mysterio in trouble here. The agonizing screams like from Rey.
Variation on the cloverleaf as Mysterio reaches the bottom rope. That will have done some damage. You see he's trying to shake some feeling back into that left knee.
Well, what a pay-per-view that was you just referenced. Dave Bradshaw Stacked. If you want to see it, of course, you should sign up automatically, immediately to What Culture Extra. You missed one hell of a show, not least Rey Mysterio against King Ricochet.
Ospreay. The drop kick to that damaged left knee of Mysterio. Another 2 count.
Rey Mysterio having to vacate the ring. He has to get out of there for a while, because that's a bad wheel and that's a bad situation for him.
Ospreay is not going to give Mysterio too much time to recover. You see he's stalking him now. And
slap almost across the face.
that was an open hand. Ospreay sends Mysterio into the guardrail. Ospreay is not giving Mysterio any kind of recuperation time. Mysterio knows his only option here is to fight back. That is what he's doing.
Well, Mysterio wanted to get away. Oh, down on the ring apron. And that's that leg again.
Yeah, exactly right. The left leg of Rey Mysterio, the left knee into the corner of the ring apron. The cover from Ospreay. Slightly sloppy cover. Shoulder goes up from Mysterio. Mysterio, though, is just backing himself into the corner. He is in need of some respite here. There are no timeouts, obviously. If there were, this would be the time to call one.
Well, absolutely. Mysterio, we talked about the FIFA World Cup earlier on. He could do with half-time roundabout now, but he ain't going to get it. Will Ospreay is right to stay on the offensive.
Never mind half-time. Ospreay's looking for full-time here. Ospreay thinks that he can end this in the near future. Ospreay, with his arms wrapped around the neck, the throat of Rey Mysterio, who finds his way out with those elbows. Ospreay quickly back on offense. Ospreay sent to the corner. Mysterio charges in, no one home. Mysterio, moonsault caught, turns around into a DDT.
That's the moment that Mysterio desperately needed. That buys him some time. Maybe not as much as he'd like, but some. And that could be crucial in this contest.
Absolute marvel how you can be so quick thinking. He went for the moonsault, got caught, and had the wherewithal to very quickly come up with a plan B and plant Ospreay with that DDT.
Right in the top of his head. And Rey Mysterio now, he looks as though he's going high again.
Mysterio headed to the top floor. Ospreay getting back to his feet. Will Ospreay, there's a seated senton from Mysterio. Mysterio, the springboard, the crossbody. Ospreay reeling. Ospreay goes for a sunset flip. Mysterio gets out, kicks him in the side of the head.
He's got the pin.
Mysterio sits on top and was a split second away from going to the quarterfinals, but this one will continue, much to the pleasure of everyone here.
Absolutely, we talk about half-time, full-time. Everyone in attendance wants extra time on this main event.
Mysterio sends Ospreay onto the apron. Mysterio goes face first into the turnbuckle, then eats the boot of Ospreay. Ospreay is going to springboard again. Leaping forearm from Ospreay.
Aerial Assassin's feeling it. He's feeling it.
Will Ospreay looks like he's going for the Rainmaker. Thing he learned from his mentor, Kazuchika Okada. But Mysterio drops him on the back of his neck and Ospreay gets out again.
You can't even keep up with these two men at times. It's impossible. They do things that mere mortal men could only dream of.
Both men down. Referee starts his count. Both men are moving. Who will get to their feet first? It's going to be Mysterio. Ospreay follows him soon after. Oh, and Ospreay in position. Ospreay in position. You know what's coming now. The 619 with Ospreay. Launched back with an uppercut.
Ospreay had that one well scouted. Of course, one of the most famous moves in wrestling.
Ospreay, drop kick into the chest.
He got all of that one. Every single ounce of pressure crashing down on Mysterio's chest from Will Ospreay.
Unreal. The cover. Will this do it? No.
How does he do that, Bradshaw? It baffles me every time I see it.
Will Ospreay defying the laws of physics, as he does each and every time he enters a wrestling ring.
There is a reason that the entire wrestling fraternity, community, brotherhood if you like, the entire wrestling world, they're constantly talking about Will Ospreay. There's a reason for that, and we're seeing what that reason is here tonight.
Ospreay with Mysterio on his shoulders. And Mysterio catches him! Mysterio catches him! He'll try for a second time. For the 619. Oh, he got caught. He got caught. Ospreay caught him. Ospreay caught him. Mysterio in trouble. Mysterio holding on for dear life. Mysterio.
Oh, kick right to the face.
Oh, Ospreay's caught him. Cheeky Nando's kick. Slams him down. Wraps him up. Ospreay to win it. Mysterio out again.
Oh, I hope Mysterio likes his Nando's spicy, because that's how Will Ospreay likes it. What a vicious kick right to the head.
Ospreay, the adrenaline coursing through his body. Mysterio.
Oh, no way. Are you kidding me?
Mysterio is in position.
I don't think Mysterio reckoned this would happen.
Ospreay goes to the ropes. 619, no one home. Ospreay will try again. 619. 619 from Mysterio.
Right into the midsection.
Ospreay, oh, a handspring. The overhead kick. Mysterio down. Ospreay down. And we are watching a classic.
Never mind 619. What's the dial code for Essex? That's what I'm wondering. Someone needs to call Will Ospreay's mama and tell her that her baby boy's having one hell of a match here in Milton Keynes.
This will be one for the highlight reel, that's for sure. Ospreay and Mysterio, both down. They are chanting CCC for Mysterio.
Incredible scenes here at the Pro Wrestling World Cup, and remember, that's what's at stake, a quarter-final berth in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Let's not lose sight of that.
Mysterio trying to grab onto the leg of Ospreay to stop him ascending to the top turnbuckle. Mysterio.
He's doing so gingerly though, Ospreay, and it cost him in the end.
He couldn't quite get up there before Mysterio got back to his feet. Mysterio is trying to pound away at Ospreay here to neutralize that threat from the turnbuckle.
And Mysterio's going to join him in the penthouse.
Yeah, but Ospreay's caught him. Ospreay has caught him on his shoulders. Mysterio knows he's in trouble. Mysterio trying to struggle his way free, but now it's Mysterio who's going to take advantage, or is he? Oh, he caught him. He caught him. Ospreay caught him.
What a block from Will Ospreay.
Ospreay caught him, picks him up. Again, great strength from Ospreay. Maybe trying for a powerbomb. Mysterio is trying to stop it.
Ospreay did everything he could to block that attempted Hurricane Rana from Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, but look at this. Mysterio's grabbing Ospreay by the hair. Mysterio grabbing Ospreay by the head to take him up. And he nails him with the bulldog.
Ring-a-ding-ding. We may be ringing the bell on this one.
Mysterio covers Ospreay. Surely, no. My God. My God.
Where do we go from here? Just where do we go from here? I'm not even sure Will Ospreay and Rey Mysterio could answer that question.
Mysterio can't believe that was not enough to put away Will Ospreay.
You think of the contrast in matches we've seen here this evening. It's incredible stuff. Worthy main event anywhere in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Rey Mysterio unloading with those forearms now on Ospreay. Ospreay back to his feet. Ospreay! Just like that! Lightning fast! The cover! And no! Again! Mysterio out!
Well, Ospreay, by that expression though, when Mysterio kicked out, he wasn't expecting that. I think Will Ospreay thought he'd caught the legend, the icon, by surprise. Yes, it is.
Ospreay, it is his turn to have a look of disbelief on his face. Mysterio,
he's still moving.
Yes, and while he's still moving, while he's still breathing, he is very much a part of this Pro Wrestling World Cup.
Well, nobody wants to wave goodbye to either one of these men. They have fought so hard to even make it to this round of 16. But again, we've said it time and time again throughout this entire competition, qualifiers and all, only one will get that spot in the quarterfinals. Just one. They can't both do it.
Ospreay, what is Ospreay doing? What is Ospreay doing? Ospreay as Mysterio up in the crucifix, it looks like. Ospreay, what is he planning? Oh, he knocked him! But he landed on his feet! Ospreay landed on his feet!
Well, what next?
What did we just see? Mysterio sends Ospreay to the ropes! Here it comes! 6-1-9! Mysterio! The splash! Knees up! Ospreay hooks the leg! Ospreay! And oh, Mysterio kicked out!
Someone get me some oxygen.
What are we watching?
He caught him with all of that one too, did Bradshaw. Well, we are catching our breath. Will Ospreay on the offensive.
Oscutter on Mysterio. Is that enough? Yes, it is. Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's your winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving into this contest and advancing to the quarterfinals, Will Ospreay!
Quite simply, one of the greatest professional wrestling matches we have ever had the privilege of witnessing.
Stunning, simply stunning. And look at this, the emotion again pouring out of Will Ospreay's body. This is unbelievable. What a moment for Will Ospreay to defeat Rey Mysterio. And not only that, Dave Bradshaw, advance in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. He is past the round of 16. Forget that. It's yesterday's news now. Will Ospreay is in the quarterfinals.
Will Ospreay took everything that his idol had to throw at him, and somehow, on this night in Milton Keynes, still came out on top. Ospreay advances to the quarterfinals and a date with destiny against Canada's Speedball Mike Bailey tomorrow night. My God, what a match, what a night here in Milton Keynes.
Unbelievable.
We now know the identity of the 8 men who will compete in the quarterfinals in Manchester.
Listen. Just quickly, I'm just gonna say it now. I'm an emotional ass kid, so if I do cry, please forgive me, but listen now. True story, when I was 12 years old, my mum and dad tried to buy me tickets to come see you at SmackDown once upon a time. And we didn't have enough money, we had to sit right there in the nosebleed seats, not even joking. And all I wanted to do is I wanted to be one of these kids wearing the mask front row. I wanted that head-to-head contact and I wanted to feel your energy, man. And listen, I have worked so hard, I have faced my heroes, but you need to know this, man. You are literally one of the reasons I was here. If not... You probably get this so much, man, and I understand that. But you are a whole reason why a whole generation of wrestlers want to be different. They want to stand out. And there are so many people that try and discredit what I do. But I know it's worked off. I know the hard work has paid off because now I'm standing in a ring with a man I call my hero. I've said it enough for you, man. I have nothing but respect for you. So I'm going to say it now, I'll say it forever. Thank you so much for honoring me in this ring. Thank you.
Emotions running high on a night here in Milton Keynes that we will never forget. But the action doesn't stop here.
I will get myself this is a very special moment. I truly feel honored to be able to be part of this new generation, this new breed. The evolution of wrestling is right here. I've said it before, I've been a big fan of sharing the ring with Ricochet. It's been incredible. And he just told me back there, you haven't wrestled Will yet, right? I said, no. And he goes, damn, you're gonna like it. 100%. I feel honored to have stepped in the ring with this man right here. What can I say, man? Will, you are the future of this sport, man. And just to make this night memorable, I'll leave this behind and give it to you because this will remember our match. I love you guys. Will, keep kicking ass, man. I love you. This ring is yours. Cherish it. One love.
Will Ospreay receiving the ultimate sign of respect from Rey Mysterio. We are back tomorrow, 9 p.m. UK time, the quarterfinals of Pro Wrestling World Cup. But for now, it's from Milton Keynes.